welcome everyone to the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. Hello, Matt. We're back again. It's Sunday night. We're here with all of our friends here in the season of giving. Christmas is right around the corner. Are you feeling the stress yet, Matt? Are you feeling it?
Not really, because I did all my stuff like ages ago. I've got like very little things that don't require a lot of thought or attention to deal with still. But yeah, all the big stuff has been dealt with ages ago, and I guess because I had more time this year.
Yeah, I'm happy for you, definitely. I did a little entertaining today. My grandparents are going away for Christmas, as they always do, to visit their other daughter. So I had the chance to entertain for them. I did a whole British tea thing. I got my diffuser out, and I made a bunch of sandwiches on like the big snack tower. You can see that on Instagram. I felt good about that, where it's like, you guys are rich and don't have any interest, so here's like a fun practical gift that I can give you that just won't collect dust in a corner. So that was fun. I went to go have a nap after that because, they're all early risers, and then frickin' Amazon woke me up because I have another gift I need to wrap. So, I think I just need one more day this week. I just need to get out and make sure the person I'm shopping for isn't around.
Yeah, I've got like one more day picked out that I'm just going to be like, okay, I got to sort all this little stuff out and then I'm done.
And, I always get stuff, like I always try and get people lottery tickets every year. That's my thing, because it's a good stocking stuffer and like, hey, maybe you'll win.
Yeah.
So that's always a good one. What else have I been doing this week? Hey, you see that new Netflix thing they got? It's no shit, a series of video essays on famous movies called Vior.
Vior, yeah.
Because it's French for view. You check any of that out?
I have, yeah. I've watched the first episode.
It's good, isn't it?
It's pretty damn good. Yeah, I was waiting for that to actually drop, and it kind of surprised me when it did, because I think it dropped the same day as the newer Tiger King documentary on Doc Antle. Yeah, because I watched that, and then it said, if you'll watch this as well, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I will.
It's so funny to see Netflix getting involved in the video essay thing. And on one hand, I was almost mad, like, hey, stop hoarding in on my racket, giant streaming company. But then on the other hand, I'm like, oh, this is a really good look at Jaws. And they do one on animation, and they do one on the first 48. My favorite is the one they do on unlikable protagonists and Lawrence of Arabia. Everyone needs to see that one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the rest later on this week. It's
really, really solid. What else did I do this week? Or actually, what else did you do this week, I should say? Anything fun?
What did I do? Well, we had the Game Awards. I did. I started playing Halo Infinite.
Oh, yes, that's right. Is this the actual campaign? Because I know they were flirting with, like, the multiplayer.
Yeah, the campaign was released on the 8th or the 6th or something. But yeah, the multiplayer was released like a month ago, and you can play both of them for basically free on Game Pass, because they released them exactly like day and date release on Game Pass.
That's good.
Yeah, the multiplayer was pretty good. I've only played a little bit of that, but because I was waiting for the campaign, and the campaign
naturally
was pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. I've only played a little bit of it so far, but it's pretty damn good.
I know a lot of people were super stoked about that. Also, am I a little quiet? Cosmic Reject says I'm a little quiet.
You're hitting the yellow.
Okay, that's good. I'm hitting the yellow, apparently, which is not racist. I just want to say that right now. For anyone out there who grabs that little piece of what I just said and takes it around the internet. Is Joel assaulting Asian people? No. The yellow bar, it goes from green to yellow and then red. Jack and Tevia say that I'm also a little quiet. Okay, here, I will turn up my own microphone, and maybe Matt can boost me a little bit. How about that?
I can't boost you anymore without blowing out your audio.
I can't do it. I can't boost them anymore. The machines that can't take it. All right, here, I'll just turn my own microphone up a little bit and see if that does anything.
Yeah,
anything now?
You sound fine to me, and if it's on the yellow, like I'm hitting the yellow, you're hitting the yellow, it's fine.
Weird. Well, hopefully it doesn't ruin the show.
Turn your own volume up, people.
Yeah, really. Turn me up. Turn my headphones up. Yeah, that's cool about Halo Infinite. I'm so freaking jealous about all you next-gen game people. This is the first Christmas where I'm, like, not going to have a basically, like, new video game to play, which has always been a staple of my Christmas celebration. Though that being said, I've made great use of what is it, the big Sony sale they've been doing, I finally got Soul Calibur 6. I know that came out in 2018, but I haven't played it yet, and I got it for $11.
Nice. I can't remember what the last Soul Calibur game I played with. I think it was the one that had Yoda in it. They made like a big deal about, Yoda and Darth Vader are in it.
Yes, that was the Xbox version of 3.
Yeah, one of them, yeah.
Which 3 was very good. In fact, 6 is a lot like 3 because they brought back more of a focus on create a character. And there's the story mode, but they also have kind of like a conquest mode where you can create your own character and do an original story. That I love. That is really good.
That's cool, yeah.
It's super fun. I missed it in the other Soul Caliburs, and I'm super glad that it's back because, I basically just create my freaking D&D character is all I do. My OC do not steal. So yeah, that's the type of week I've been having there. As Matt mentioned, the Game Awards was this week, and they actually had a lot of comic book related news that we're going to talk about.
They did, yeah.
But before we do any of that, Matt, I want to send a very special shout out to our sponsors for this video. No, it's not Esker Wallet. They're great, and they will be returning next week. No, I'm sending a big, hearty thank you to the fine folk at Manscaped. Yes, that's right. For the 3rd year running, everyone, I, Cape Joel, am the ball raiser, ambassador to the world. They wrote me and said, Joel, we love all the advancements you've made in your channel this year. When we look at you, we just think ball raisers and a good, clean scrotum.
Tell them to send some stuff my way, because I bought like a heap of their stuff before, and I want the new lawnmower 4.0 whatever it is, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, they offered to send me that, and I'm like, well, you guys have sent me a razor every year for like 2 years, and I can't re-gift it. They should definitely send it to Matt. So instead, I worked out a deal for one of their brand new anti-sweat, anti-chafe shirts and underwear from their lifestyle line, but also they were super cool, and they gave me the shampoo and body wash.
Oh, no, I didn't even know they did that sort of stuff.
Again, Manscaped, they're growing by leaps and bounds. They've got so many new amazing products. So even if, their main product, the actual manscaping, isn't appealing to you, don't worry. They got stuff to make you feel clean and tidy and sharp for this holiday season. I'm just looking at the bottle right now, so, you can trust that their products are vegan, dye-free, gluten-free, paraben-free. I don't even know what a paraben is, but you're not going to find it in here. They're also alcohol-free and cruelty-free, so you can trust that these are not only quality but also ethical at the same time, which is very important in our products, especially in manscaping. That's Manscaped, everyone. All the care for your hair down there. Use the link down in the description. Get yourself a nice gift this Christmas. A gift you give yourself, really.
Yeah. And
in turn, you'll be helping out the channel.
Yeah. They do some really great products. I love their razors. I got some of their it's like a moisturizer, which is really good. I also got what's in my bathroom. It's like a little kit, like a travel kit with like scissors.
Oh, the kit is amazing.
And like tweezers and stuff like that, which is really good.
Oh, their caddy is the best thing ever, that you can actually carry all your stuff around it. It was a must every time I went traveling back in the days 2 years ago when we could travel, and God willing, I will get to use it again. So that's Manscaped, everyone. And with that out of the way, we can actually hop into the news from this week. And oh boy, we had way more than I thought we would. I thought it was December and shit was going to be calming down and we'd have to scrape the barrel and make stuff up.
I knew those Game Awards would deliver.
You were right, man. I owe you a Coke and a Christmas bonus, Cratchit. You won't have to work this year, and I won't have to be visited by 3 ghosts. But yes, so there was a lot of video game and comic book crossover at the Game Awards this year, and the first one was a big announcement that I don't think anyone saw coming. I don't even think I heard this rumored, but they're apparently doing a Wonder Woman game now?
Yeah, made by Monolith.
Which is crazy, and it's also one of those, head-slapping no-duh things.
Yeah, how has it taken this long?
Superman's had a lot of games. Batman's had a lot of games. Why not the third part of the Trinity? She is so video game ready.
Yeah, you see it as well in games like Darksiders and God of War, and it's like this is a Wonder Woman game. Just make this a Wonder Woman game.
by any other name. Yeah, I mean, everything Wonder Woman can do just screams excellent character action. And obviously, the Greek pantheon and Greek mythology goes over huge in stuff like Game of War. You mean to tell me you can't just make a God of War game and slap Wonder Woman on it?
Yeah, exactly.
I think this is a super cool idea. And again, I can see it now. Fight with swords and shields, swing with the lasso, fight amazing bosses that are either Greek monsters or reimaginings of Wonder Woman supervillains.
Exactly. It all lends itself to like good video game, beat 'em up, RPG combat stuff.
Totally. Now, refresh my memory. What else has Monolith done that I've probably played?
Let's have a look.
Yeah, let's have a look at that so we can see what kind of pedigree we're dealing with here.
They've done the Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War games.
Oh, yeah, of course, because Warner Brothers, they're in bed with Warner Brothers.
Oh my
games,
god, that just reminded me. They need to use that fucking amazing Nemesis system. The
Nemesis system.
Oh my god. Please, put it in there.
What do we think? What would the Nemesis system look like for Wonder Woman? You just beat up a regular henchman, but in cases,
he comes back stronger with like new gear.
Yeah, he's got like superhero killing tech from like Intergang, and maybe you can use the lasso of truth to like change his heart and his mind and get him to like stop being a criminal.
Yeah, or like Ares has like generals.
Yes, I love it.
Kind of like, like Assassin's Creed, the like hidden ones, how it's like a big like
great.
Sort of tree.
I love it. I love everything about that. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the Cult of Ares. You have to hunt down the Cult of Ares because that's a thing from the comics.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. Yeah, I definitely hope they borrow some stuff from Shadow of War. I mean, how could they not?
Yeah.
Here's the question, though. Can Wonder Woman fly in this, or will she have the invisible jet?
Probably fly.
That'll be interesting to see how they deal with that, because so many of those games are all about traversal, and I think Wonder Woman has a lot of amazing options for traversal.
Yeah, she'll either fly or be able to like throw herself quite long ways with like the lasso, like lasso onto something and like catapult herself or something.
Of course, it's a superhero game, so there's going to be like a million unlockable costumes from her history.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll have the Golden Kingdom Come armor. We'll have the mod suit when she didn't have any powers at all.
Yep.
The jacket, the pants version that made everyone crazy before the New 52 started. So many options, so many places to go.
Yeah.
And I'm here for all of it. Man, Wonder Woman's like in a really interesting time right now because she's got this, and there's that big Amazon's event starting soon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great time to be a Wonder Woman fan.
Yeah.
No doubt. So definitely get excited for that, everyone. And as Cosmic Reject is saying there, but also because it's Monolith and Warner Brothers games, are we going to have to be worried about microtransactions?
Did they end up taking them out of that Mordor game? Because I know so many people like got shitty about that.
Eventually they did, and the game was actually much better for it.
Well, maybe they've learned the lesson. I mean, there's not... Like, that had, like, some type of online component, didn't it?
Yes, it always online, yep.
Yes, but I can't see how this game, which should be mainly a single-player game, would have, like, an online component.
You would certainly hope so. You would certainly hope that they learned their lesson and didn't try and pull that shit again. But also, the call of money and the corrupting nature of the microtransaction. Oh, we'll give you that costume you want for $5 American. Yeah, you can have all these great references for money.
Yeah.
Always for money. Again, start your engines now, everyone. What villains you want in there as boss fights. Cheetah, obviously. I imagine you could do a really fun one with, like, Dr. Psycho. Could re-envision Silver Swan.
I imagine we'll get all of them. We'll probably get some villains that aren't hers as well, because she doesn't...
Yeah.
She doesn't really have a lot of, like, good villains.
Not for, like, the last 2 decades she has, unless you want to do, like, the Blue Snowman.
Yeah, have her fight, like, I don't know, the Royal Flush Gang or something.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, because they don't really belong to any one hero.
No, yeah, have her fight, like, villains that, like, anyone could... You see anyone fight, like, the Royal Flush Gang or Intergang or something.
Grail, Maxima.
Yeah.
Bring some of that, and that would be fun. Like, I am Maxima, and I can match Wonder Woman. Ooh, the Female Furies, that'd be a really good one.
Yep.
Those would be four amazing bosses.
The those Amazonians that kind of they're like militaristic. They like use guns.
Oh, the Brazilian ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Maxwell
the
Lord.
Bannermidal Amazons.
That's a good one. The chat says Maxwell Lord. That would be an interesting fight because he can't hit you, but maybe he can send wave after wave of innocent people after you.
He would be the Scarecrow in Arkham game sort of villain, where it's like puzzles and like you got to go through the level and like get through his like mind control and shit.
Yes, 10 on 10. Amazing pitch, Matt. I love that. This game would also be perfect for a boss rush mode, too. Like, again, you fight each of the four female Furies individually, and then at, like, near the end of the game, you got to fight all four of them at once.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's what I'm pitching. It's going to be good. It's going to be so good. I have high hopes.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to be also... I don't think there was a date attached to it, so I imagine 2023, 2024, whenever the next Wonder Woman movie comes out.
That's usually how these work, and yeah, they usually like to have connective multimedia things going on.
Yep.
Now, that wasn't the only game they announced either. We actually got some more footage, some real, actual, tangible gameplay footage from Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, which, of course, is a game that kind of came and went, and now we actually finally have stuff to go on. My question is finally answered of what the hell kind of game is this?
Is it, though? Because it's still very nebulous in that, like, you didn't really get to see... It's like, okay, so is it like the Guardians game? Are you controlling one person and then you can take control of all the others? Or, like, can you switch? Is it a 4-player game where you can only control one player and 3 others control the other characters?
True.
We did see gameplay, though.
We did. We finally saw some gameplay. It's a hybrid shooter, so everyone seems to have, a melee attack, and everyone seems to have some sort of ranged attack. What I find very interesting is how they chose to deal with a very real problem when it comes to adapting comic book superheroes, and that is, as I mentioned before, mobility. How do they get around in the game world like they get around in the comics? Because for a lot of characters, it's easy. Iron Man flies, Superman flies, Batman has his grappling hook and his Batmobile. With the Suicide Squad, it's like most of these people are just dudes, though, who like walk and take the bus and need to be choppered in. Yeah,
so we'll just give Captain Boomerang speed.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, you're just throwing that out there. He just has super speed now. All right, I mean, I hope there's an in-game reason for that. Deadshot just has a jetpack. Harley Quinn has a grappling hook, because apparently everyone in Gotham now has a grappling hook. And King Shark is just the Hulk from that Avengers game.
Yeah, he just jumps really far.
Just jumps really far, really fast. I mean, that's certainly one way to solve it, but a little weird.
It is a little weird, yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have done it that way. I would have made a Suicide Squad game more of like a level-based corridor shooter thing, but this seems to be going for much more of a open world, a whole city, Overwatchy, Avengers gamey kind of thing.
So it was a little bit, what's the word, ambitious for what the scope is of Suicide Squad.
Definitely. Like, again, I respect them for going big, but at the same time, it's like you probably should have gone small and built up to this.
Yeah, or like at least, or put characters in it that like their traversals would make sense. And it's like Deadshot, you can get away with the air jetpack, but maybe change out the others for like characters who actually have powers.
Can do stuff. Yeah, it's an odd choice. And again, we don't know from what point in the game this footage is shown. Maybe this is near the end of the game. Maybe we actually do get smaller, more kind of compact stuff to start us off, and we build up to this. I don't know.
This could just be one section of the game, and the whole game isn't like this at all.
True.
And this is just like the open Metropolis section of the game, and there's more sections that are all closed off and more suited for these characters.
Yeah. They definitely sold this one kind of cool too. Deborah Wilson literally came out on stage as Amanda Waller and yelled at Jeff Keighley.
She looked like Nick Fury.
Little bit. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just her haircut in real life.
She had like a big black coat on and like the like a gun holster like Nick Fury has. I'm like, you're just cosplaying Nick Fury. That doesn't look like Amanda Waller.
Look, I'm just saying Jeff Keighley lived my dream of getting yelled at by Deborah Wilson, is all I'm saying. I felt bad for her, too, because the crowd seemed genuinely confused because, like, no one else did that. And they're like, wait, what? Is she from the game? Is this Deborah Wilson from Mad TV as herself? Where do we know her from? Wait, is this a thing?
I don't think she actually looks like that in the game.
No, I don't think so either.
No, I think it looks like a bit more like a classical Waller look, where she's a little bit more heavy set with like the hair and everything.
Yeah, it was an odd choice.
Yeah,
I will say that much. I mean, I'm glad they wanted to give it that much more pomp and circumstance, but I maybe wouldn't have done it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we know more now about Justice League. Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. God, that's a bit of an unwieldy title, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it shows potential. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, we're getting it sometime next year.
Yeah, is what it sounds like. Which again, here's hoping Suicide Squad fever can stay for that long. I know we got the movie and we're getting that Peacekeeper TV show, and then we're getting this video game long after the fact, because isn't that the way?
Yeah. Well, again, I think this was delayed quite a fair bit.
I think so too. I mean, COVID. What are you going to do?
Well, not just from COVID. I actually think they probably were still trying to hash out what exactly this game was.
Well, yeah, because there were rumors for like a long time, like even after that last Batman game, that we might be getting something.
Like technically set the Suicide Squad up in what, Arkham Origins or something?
Yes, I believe they did.
Yeah, and that had Deathstroke in it.
It did. So this has clearly changed hands a couple times, and they've clearly reworked it a bit.
Yeah.
Which in that way makes it very much like a DC project. We can add that to the ever-growing list of, and here's stuff we almost made or we're going to make, and this is what we made instead.
Yeah.
Now, from this story to actually a little piece of dour news that you may or may not have heard, comic legend George Perez opened up this week about him having late-stage cancer, and this led to an outpouring of just, love and honoring for a dude who, changed the very face of comics, and someone who will be sorely, sorely missed. So, it's kind of cool that everyone gets a chance to say how important he is to them here and now.
I know. It was definitely a shock to me when I read that, but as well as it's so good seeing everyone sort of band together and support this guy. And more so, like, people were also like getting together, and they're demanding DC and Marvel release the JLA Avengers book.
Yes.
Like do like a new printing of it or something, like an omnibus
in honor
or something.
Of him, yeah.
I don't think they should.
Don't you?
Yeah, and then like set it up so that like a portion goes to like cancer research or something.
Oh, that would be clever.
I'd buy a fucking copy.
I'd buy 2 copies in that case. What's beautiful about this outpouring of support too, it's like, George Perez, amazing, revolutionary artist, one of the most important names in modern comic books, but also just a really good guy that no one has ever said a bad word about, even like, in passing. Like, I've never even heard a rumor about him being a dick. I've only heard about him being a good guy, which makes it sting that much more that the good die young,
Yeah, it sucks.
It does. But, hey, miracles happen. They're making, medical advancements in technology all the time here. Who's to say what could happen?
Exactly.
This is just the man, as many artists do, trying to get his affairs in order and like, hey, everyone, let me basically try and tell my piece of the story. It's been a bad month for icons too. We lost Sondheim and we lost Anne Rice just like last night.
Yeah, yesterday.
Man, my gothy theater kid heart can't take much more of it at this point.
All the theater people are dying.
I know. Tell me about it. Now, then again, I think like Anne Rice was like 95 and lived an incredibly full life.
She was really old. Yeah.
There's a beautiful picture there of Manganiello, the man who would be Deathstroke but wasn't. It's him and her at a con, and he's like giving her a bouquet of flowers and like giving her his arm, and he's like walking her through the floor. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet.
Nice.
Also, big like muscle head like Manganiello, and then you're reminded like, no, he loves Dungeons and Dragons and is a total nerd. Of course, he loves Anne Rice. Of course, why wouldn't he?
Of course.
That's such a sweet moment. Hunt that picture down, everyone. It'll make you smile.
Yeah. Tavia, George Perez isn't dead yet.
Not dead. He's just very sick.
Very sick. And he could easily get better. And we're hoping he gets better.
We're hoping it's late stage cancer. I forget what type of cancer, but it's like 3rd degree late stage cancer.
Yeah. Oh, as someone in this chat reminds me, because apparently we lost the writer of Cowboy Bebop, which I didn't know, but I know that show got cancelled.
Wow, what a weird ass confluence of events. The original writer dies right as the American show is canceled.
God, that is wow.
Yeah, what the fuck is even? Well, what is anything?
Yeah, that show, man. I'm kind of glad it got cancelled.
I watched one episode of it and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna rush to finish the rest. Yeah. I know you said it gets a little better later on, but
it does, but then it starts like swerving all over the place with like Julia's story and like completely changes everything up at the end, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's enough.
And like, okay, it needs to be a series now when like I think people like the original because it's like just 26 solid episodes.
Yeah.
It is funny, too, that they canceled it the way they did when there were so many think pieces and arguments and back and forth where it's like, yeah, you all spent way too much emotional bandwidth on this than you needed to.
Yeah, the best one I saw was from Vice where it says, like, it's bad on purpose. It's deliberately being, like, different and bad on purpose. I'm like, is that what we're going for now?
I saw that too. I think someone said it's like, you know, what is this new genre of articles where it's like, look, I already wrote this article 3 weeks ago when I thought people were going to like it. Now that they don't like it, I don't want to change my article too much. So what should I change the title to?
Yeah.
That's what I felt like when I read that. All right, moving on from there to a little bit of happier news. Captain Carter, big breakout star of Marvel What If, is going to be getting a brand new miniseries.
Yeah, it's about time that happened.
Again, you know, we said it before, but it bears repeating. Marvel What If is surely already doing its work as the ultimate, you know, market research backdoor pilot factory for the next little bit of Marvel. Oh, did people like this character? Did this character track well? They did. Well, let's get a miniseries and see how it does.
Yeah, and I imagine this is going to do very well.
I will be interested to see how this works because obviously, you know, I like Captain Carter. I liked the show and everything, but I'm also a regular comic reader and buyer. Mm-hmm. I have to wonder, will the fresh eyes that were on the show and on this version of the character translate to comic book sales? They certainly seem to think it will.
I think it will. Again, especially if they do this as this is like a fresh Captain Carter. This isn't the Captain Carter we saw in like Exiles and all that sort of stuff. So they're coming in with like basically an origin arc, which will get new readers on and everything. So I think it should do well.
That's certainly what it sounds like, that they want this to be a fresh jumping on point to people who may only be aware of the character from the show. And I mean, hey, more power to them. And also, hey, I'm excited to see what the writing team does here in maybe reimagining other parts of the Captain America lore and history. I know the synopsis said something like, oh, Captain Carter is called out of retirement like when an old foe returns. And I'm like, ooh, what old foe?
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see... I'm intrigued to see exactly how much they'll take from that What If. Yeah. So, like, are we going to get like the like Steve in like the big Iron Man armor and the Hydra Stomper and all that sort of stuff, or are they going to like completely change it and just have her like, I don't know, team with Bucky or something? And
something. What's Bucky like in this world? Yeah. Hey, what's friggin' Crossbones like in this world? Maybe in this world Sin became Crossbones instead of the other way around.
Do we know if it's set in the present or like is it the past? I know she says that she comes out of retirement, but I could see that easily being set like, you know, just after World War II or something.
They seem very vague about it. I think that's one of the mysteries where they want you to really get in on it.
That'd be cool if it was like set in like the 70s.
That would be cool. Yeah, there's a lot of fun ways you could spin this book.
Yeah, she's got to hunt down like Nazis in Argentina or something.
Oh, that would be fun. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Secret Sauce Boss actually brings up something fun here that I didn't add to the news, but it's something that does bear a little bit of conversation. Apparently, Grant Morrison did an interview this week on a channel that no one has ever heard of. With less subscribers than anyone, and I'm like, okay, cool. That's their thing. That's what Morrison does. They go on shows that no one has heard of to do interviews. All right. When you're Morrison, you're allowed to do that.
And the thing is, he wasn't even invited. He just turned up. You know.
Oh, really?
No. I think he was. It's like just Grant Morrison just turned up.
Morrison appeared as Morrison does through the ether. Apparently, during this interview, they broached the subject of Superman and the Authority, the last mini-series that Morrison did, which kind of led into the Philip Kennedy Johnson series, kind of didn't. It's a little up in the air, whatever. But basically, the conversation said that when DiDio was still at DC, and this was all still part of 5G, which we had theorized it was, and now we officially know beyond the shadow of a doubt that Superman and the Authority was supposed to take place during 5G.
Yeah.
The plan, DiDio said, was like, oh yes, let's have another version of Superman who's a tyrant. He's old and shitty, and he's a fucking fascist now.
He's a right-winger. He said he wanted Superman to be a right-winger.
His words exactly, DiDio. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that blow people's minds? And Morrison's like, no, how about let's not do that? I offer myself up as tribute. I'll do the book. I'll do anything just so you don't do that, Don DiDio.
I just love that he took the book just so this wouldn't happen. He's a hero. He's a goddamn hero.
Yeah, friggin' Morrison, man, coming in and saving the friggin' day. This led to another hilarious exchange and tweet from Gail Simone, who mentioned she basically said, this happens at DC more than you think. I took New 52 Batgirl under similar circumstances because I heard the pitch they had and thought it was so terrible and so monstrous I had to get in there and save it.
I want to hear that pitch now.
I really fucking do. Hey, let's buy Gail Simone a bunch of drinks until she tells us.
Subscribe to her Substack or something. I don't know.
Please. I don't think she is on Substack, actually. I think she's
one of the few creators who isn't.
One of the few holdouts there. But wow, I'm dying to know what that was too. Also, is this another story that proves that Dan DiDio is kind of a monster, or that he's like a business genius where he's like working mental kung fu, where it's like he
deliberately did that to get Morrison on the book because he knew they would deliver gold.
Absolutely. Is this like the comic book editor version of negging? Is this negative reinforcement to try and get people to write books?
Everyone's completely misinterpreted what's happening and everything.
Yeah.
And he's some secret genius.
Which again is just man, maybe it's good 5G didn't happen then, but also again confirming that that was totally the plan.
Oh, that's great. And I love it. That just getting past that whole negative reinforcement thing. The whole idea was for DiDio. He's like that Injustice Superman is popular. People like this Homelander character.
Can't we just do that?
Can we make that Superman? Even though not realizing that those two versions are parodies of Superman.
And deconstructions, and all the fans just very silently, no, please, no. He has to be stopped, and he was stopped, just not in the way you think he was.
Yeah.
Again, I imagine DiDio clearing out his desk there when Verizon, took control, and it's like, you'll never know.
I do like that idea we formed where he is a secret genius, and this is all part of his plan is all negative reinforcement.
All negative reinforcement. I hate the sidekicks. I want to murder them all. Well, that will motivate you to do better sidekick books, won't it? See, that's the thing. You have to do good or I'll destroy everything you love. What's DiDio doing now that he's essentially been forced into retirement? He's been very, very quiet. I guess he's just counting his money and hanging out.
Yeah, I don't know.
I could have sworn that he was going to get, snatched up by another company and we were going to hear, oh, yeah, he's... co-producing Valiant now or something.
Maybe he's got something in the work. Again, this was during COVID, so it's probably put a hamper on a lot of people's plans and stuff.
Probably.
So, I don't know. Who knows?
And he's gonna have a Substack. Honestly, I would, if it was just like Dan DiDio Tells All, I would happily listen to his Substack that's just him telling stories.
Oh, yeah, just all this terrible shit he had planned.
Oh, yeah. Because again, it's creatively, there's a lot of stuff that we disagree with DiDio on, but in interviews and talking, he seems charming and affable.
Yeah, he seems like a kind of really solid dude.
Yeah. And tall, very tall by all accounts. Just a giant of a man. Hitting his head off door frames everywhere he goes. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Secret Sauce Boss. I'm glad we got to get that down on recording there, because that is just a hell of a story. And also just a hell of a way to find out about this story. Hey, Morrison, our show basically isn't listened to by anyone. You can come here and talk to us, and we promise it won't get out.
I remember I saw him trending on Twitter, and I'm like, oh no. It's like, this is either going to be he's leaving comics, someone dug up an old tweet, something happened, so what have they done? And then it's just like, oh, they gave like an interview where they talked about Superman and the Authority on like a random channel.
Boy, that's a relief. Thank you always, Grant, for being on your best behavior. We appreciate it. Now, moving on there to a little bit more DC news for you there. Naomi Season 2 by Brian Michael Bendis and David F. Walker is slated for a comeback in 2022.
Yes, we knew Season 2 was coming. We just didn't know when, and now we do. And now we have a cover and everything, and it's 6 issues long. And yeah, I'm so excited.
Just in time for the new Naomi TV show. It's this and Batman universe are still arguably the best thing that Bendis has done at DC right now. It's a net win for everybody.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this new series.
Yeah. Again, if you're a fan of this, and I feel this book made a lot of fans and then kind of went silent for a long time, but it's finally back now.
Again, COVID, I think, pushed everything back, because I swear this book was meant to come out ages ago.
I dropped off on Justice League, but Naomi is still on the Justice League, I take it?
She's just leaving now, because they're moving into like fighting the Royal Flush Gang, and her parents didn't want her getting involved, so they're like taking her home to Oregon so she can train to be a better hero, and I imagine that's when this book picked up.
Really? Her parents didn't want her involved fighting the Royal Flush Gang? They're the fucking Royal Flush Gang. Anyone can beat
it wasn't
them.
The Royal Flush Gang that like convinced them. It was the Sinmar attack and him destroying the Hall of Justice and all that shit.
Because I'm like, Naomi's a smart kid. She could really stay present.
It's the Royal Flush Gang. She fucking wiped the floor with them.
It's the Royal Flush Gang, Mom and Dad. They get beaten up on the reg.
Every week.
Every week, someone beats the shit out of them. Green Arrow beats them up on his own, and he just has arrows. I'm pretty sure I got these guys. They're so inbred from all this family crime stuff. I'm pretty sure a strong breeze would knock them over. But yeah, so that's just good news all around there. If you haven't checked out Naomi, now's a great time to do it, because she's going to be everywhere in 2022, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, also thank you, Ben Parrish. I just saw that right there. Now, moving on from there, another piece of news that I think we all thought was incoming, but that we never thought we would get a chance to talk about. Tom Taylor, probably one of the hottest names in comic books today, announced this week that he has signed an exclusive deal with DC Comics, which is hilarious, because it was only a couple months ago you and I were saying that, DC is apparently not doing exclusivity contracts anymore. Yeah. Well, except for when they really want you. And they really want him.
Yeah, makes sense, his Superman book, it failed spectacularly, like all the mouth breathers were saying, so they had to sign him for a multi-book deal,
Multi-book deal. And I'm sure that was definitely the thing that pushed them over the edge too, where it's like, okay, so this, Jonathan Kent Superman thing is doing better than we ever could have thought. We're getting a lot of great press outside of the comic book medium. The book is selling good and everything. Taylor is being a great ambassador for comics on like CNN and all the news shows and everything else. All right, maybe it's time we finally put a ring on it after all these years. I imagine someone got down on their knee. Tom, I think it's time. Would you go exclusive with us, please? We know we've enjoyed a nice open relationship where we do fun, interesting, exciting things with Nightwing and John, and then you go and do Dark Ages stuff at Marvel, but we want you to be our forever man. Because that's how it's done. But yeah, this is great news, and this also means, hey, there's probably a pretty solid chance now that maybe Taylor will get called up to like write the main Superman book when the John stuff has run his course. Maybe he'll write Batman when Joshua Williamson is done with it. I'd really like to see him write Justice League, honestly.
He'd do a pretty good Justice League book. At the moment he's still sticking with, like, obviously he's got the Superman book, but he's got like Dark Knights of Steel, and like all his like alternate universe stuff. I imagine he's got a lot more as well cooking.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the future is very bright. And again, super surprised it took them so long to nail him down. Honestly, I don't think it was a matter of them not being able to nail him down. I think he just had a really great thing going, being able to write amazing books for both companies. So why would he want to stop?
Yeah, and it was like everything he wrote sold really well, like one after the other. So yeah.
Yeah. One of the hottest names in comics, and also, by all accounts, just a really nice, really good dude too. So good on you, Mr. Taylor, yes. Sir. I've been putting together my best of the year list, and instead of having you on it like several times, it was very hard to nail down. Like, okay, what won though?
Yeah, he's out there representing Australia very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can only imagine, being Australian there, he's probably a great ambassador and a hell of a, local boy makes good story.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Come on, Canadian writers, up your shit. Come on. Jace Jensen there saying he needs to write a Green Arrow book. Yeah, maybe we'll finally get Green Arrow and Black Canary now, because he seems to be like one of the only guys who A, cares about writing them, and B, actually seems to know how to do it. Maybe 2022 will finally be the year where they pull the trigger.
He always manages to involve them somehow in his books.
In everything.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it more when we talk about what we read this week. But yeah, one way or another, he's like me in that regard, where it's like, damn it, Joel, you can't keep involving Green Arrow in everything. The hell I can't. Just watch me. But yeah, that's just good news there. Now, the other big piece of news this week, arguably the biggest piece of news this week, and something that I did not think they would be dropping before Christmas, but they announced the X-Men Destiny line, which is going to be unleashing a brand new slate of books coming very soon in the fallout of Inferno. I mean, we all basically knew that this was going to be happening and that we were going to be entering the third chapter, essentially, of this Krakoan saga. I just didn't think they'd be announcing it so soon.
Yeah, well, again, Inferno's not even finished yet. I think it's got, one more issue?
Is it 4? I thought it was. That's a good question. How many issues is Inferno?
But the point being is they announced it before that even ended.
Yeah. Now, that being said, and again, we'll talk about when we talk about books this week, but holy shit, Inferno this week.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What is there? What a freaking note to leave on. But yeah, I guess it'll be ending soon, but not too soon. The chat saying that comment about Canadian writers needing to up their game. Jim Zub heard that, Joel. Now, Jim is a friend of the show. We know he can do no wrong here. But yes, so Destiny of X is going to be the next line, because we had Dawn of X, we had Reign of X, and now we have Destiny of X. And with that, we have several new books as well as a number of returning books.
Yeah.
A lot of these we don't know a lot about yet. Some we can guess, and some they have actually announced what it's going to be. First up, we have Immortal X-Men, which is the first name on our list here. And this is apparently going to be a book all about the Quiet Council.
Yeah.
About the Quiet Council during the fallout of the X-Men's whole immortality protocols getting leaked to the rest of the world, which they've been building up to in the pages of main X-Men.
Yeah, through Ben Urich and his stories and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like the sound of this. I've always loved the Quiet Council, and it's clear that they can get a lot of great drama just from a bunch of mutants in the room talking to each other and backstabbing each other. So yeah, I'll read this book.
Absolutely, I'll read it as well. Again, it'd be like a Game of Thrones sort of book. Again, all these people backstabbing each other and making deals under the table with each other. And it's even worse now with obviously Mystique and Destiny sort of fueling fires and
Spy Colossus.
Spy Colossus and everything involved and all that.
I do believe someone made the comparison saying this book is to Hickman's Avengers what New Avengers was to his Avengers at the time. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be the book that like fills in a lot of blanks there, and again is the more kind of high-minded Aaron Sorkin-y talky one.
Yeah, which I know a lot of people probably won't like.
No,
but we will.
But we will, because
this is the book we review for ourselves.
Exactly. This is the shit we're gonna dig on. This is gonna be like Way of X, where it's like, yeah, this is more heady and high-minded and philosophical and everything, and make certain people with no media literacy go, oh my god, this is just a soap opera. I'm like, motherfucker, it's X-Men. What do you think you're reading?
Have you ever read X-Men before?
It's the longest running soap opera ever. Next up, we have Marauders. This is going to be the beginning of the Olivia run, right? That's who's doing this one.
I believe so. I've like fallen off on what's happening with Marauders.
I have too, which is such a shame because it was my favorite under Jerry Duggan. I'm like 4 issues behind, and I really, really want to catch up.
I'm going to make an effort to try and review it, like try and review these X-Men books just to get like the whole story. But yeah, I guarantee you I'll forget some of them. Some will fall by the wayside. There's so many of them.
I know, that's the thing. This is going to be the hardest, and this is like a thing that I'm going to like promise to myself there that I need to make some changes and that I can't try and cover. Steve Orlando. It was Steve Orlando who's writing this one. They announced this one a long time ago that he was going to be taking over because they kind of had to, because Duggan got moved over to main X-Men. It's fun to see Marauders survive, all these different lineup changes and everything too, because it is such a solid book. Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost make such great leads, and the new book is going to have new people on it too, because I think like Daken is joining this team and Psylocke is joining the team too.
Yeah, it's just such like an interesting, fresh idea for the X-Men.
Pirates.
Yeah, pirates, like for a nation that's like on their own, and they're like doing illicit deals and all that sort of shit. Yeah.
Again, a lot of historical context there. Most of the major powers back in the day backed and funded privateers to steal from their enemies.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It is. It really is. We got X-Force, yet another one that's surviving. Obviously, Ben Percy is writing that and Wolverine now, but I have a sneaking suspicion he will not be writing this. Because I think X Lives of Wolverine is going to be his big finale. I get the distinct feeling.
The one thing I hope with, if a new writer comes on this X-Force book, we get the continued adventures of Beast's war crimes.
Absolutely. Well, we can see Beast here. He looks a lot more like his older self. He's got his old haircut from the cartoon, and he's wearing glasses again.
He needed a change. He needed the glasses so he could see the war crimes better.
So he could see them better in 2020. Or, hey, did someone kill Beast and bring back an older version of him?
Yeah, that's like his previous life version. That they had on file.
That is always a possibility, isn't it, that they could totally do that. Maybe Beast in the next couple issues goes too far and they need to smack him down finally and bring him back to Earth.
Yeah.
We got Knights of X, which is one of the ones we don't know anything about yet, but if I had to guess, because Excalibur isn't on the lineup anymore, I'm going to guess Knights of X is maybe their magic one.
Yeah, probably ends up turning into what Excalibur will turn into. Like, it'll be, Betsy and all those people.
Yeah. A bunch more of the sword people.
Yeah.
By which I mean people who fight with swords, not sword the group. That's a whole other thing. I know it's hard to make that distinction. So that one looks interesting. Obviously, mainline vanilla X-Men sticks around. Probably still under Jerry Duggan. This kind of seems to be the more superhero-centric book, the more one-and-done approachable book.
Not only that, is like where most of this, like, the actual plot is happening with like the whole leaking of the resurrection protocols and all that sort of stuff, all the stuff that's stemming into these other books.
Definitely, yeah. So that's going to be ground zero for that. We have Legion of X, which, that's a pretty interesting name, isn't it? If I had to guess, this is probably going to be the continuation of Cy Spurrier's Way of X, where Legion was a character and Nightcrawler started a new mutant religion, and we see him in his new like ex-pope outfit here, where he's got robes and a big Jesus beard.
The ex-pope, I like that. That's his new name.
I am the ex-pope. Does he drive in the ex-pope mobile? No, I just teleport if I think bullets are near me. That'll be interesting. I hope that continues what Spurrier was doing, if that is what I think it is, because Way of X was probably my favorite X-Men book this year, in a year that was filled with amazing X-Men books.
It was a pretty damn good book.
It was. It really was. And short, too. Like, they did the story and it was done. I kept thinking, like, is this going to come back? And they're like, no, we're done after that. We're done. A short one. Which is cool, because they don't all need to be long.
No, exactly.
Some of them can be short. We got Wolverine, which, again, I have no fucking clue what Wolverine is going to be, especially after X Lives of Wolverine.
Yeah, I have no idea what that's going to be. I guess maybe it'll be like a refresh for the character.
Probably.
Yeah. New #1, Wolverine #1, it'll sell better.
Absolutely.
They've got the whole resurrection thing built in, and it could, like, one of those series could end with his deaths. And and this new series is like the new Wolverine, quote unquote.
The new Wolverine. It absolutely could. He's keeping the same costume, though, we can see from the art. Mm-hmm. He's still got the brown. He hasn't gone back to rocking the classic yellow.
I haven't been reading Wolverine, but, like, where does he fall on this whole, like, sort of, like, obviously Scott and Jean left the council because they don't really want anything to, like, where does he fall in with all this?
He doesn't love it, but he's basically just going along with everyone else because he sees how happy everyone else is.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
But he's pissing and moaning to his FBI buddy, Jeff Bannister, who is literally just Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, I remember Jeff.
Yeah, he just, like, sneaks away and drinks with him and talks shit about Krakoa. He's, like, literally the deadbeat dad who's like, I'm just doing it for the kids at this point. I don't love it. And staying out of, like, all the politics and all the backstabbing, which is very Wolverine, where he's like, I have no interest in what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. It's all too smart for me.
Yeah, I come to fight, I come to fuck, I come to stab vampires. We also see Omega Red here, too, which makes me wonder, is he going to be a bigger character moving forward? Because, honestly, Omega Red's kind of getting punked out by all sides. The vampires are punking him. The mutants are punking him.
Yeah, he's just the whipping boy for everyone.
He really is. He'd be a good one for X-Force. I see Juggernaut here, too, so there's two guys who I think would be very good on a new X-Force team.
Juggernaut's kind of an interesting one, because they had that, like, miniseries where he's kind of a good guy, and he just wanted to be, like someone who helped people and sort of left alone, and that streamer wanted to, like, stream his exploits and all that sort of shit. So I'm intrigued to see what's happened here, especially as well since the whole Cyttorak stuff was involved in the Death of Doctor Strange stuff.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Again, he could also be a good fit for a magic book because his powers are magical half the time.
Yeah.
We see Goblin Queen on here, too. I didn't get a chance to read Hellions this week, but I know they brought Madeline Pryor finally back this week, so she would be a good addition to any team.
Yeah.
Also, will she be able to live and let live with Jean, the one that she's a clone of? I mean, they're very far away on the picture, as we can see.
They had to separate them for the group photo.
Yeah, we have New Mutants, which I guess that other New Mutants finished, so this is a New Mutants.
It'll be interesting to see what this one is, because that New Mutants book was like a cosmic book.
Yes,
it was set in space.
And it was kind of a comedy.
Yeah.
And Hickman wrote it, but he, like, co-wrote it. And I think it was, like, one of the only ones he co-wrote. And honestly, I have such a hard time caring about the New Mutants. But that being said, Cypher is a New Mutant, and Cypher's really fucking important now.
Yeah, really important now.
So if the New Mutants book is literally just a Cypher book, we might have to read it.
Yeah.
And lastly, and most surprisingly of all the new titles, X-Men Red, which they were sure to say, no, this is not a continuation of the Tom Taylor book. But if I had to guess, X-Men Red is probably going to be taking place on Mars, the Red Planet, and it's probably going to be a Sword continuation, because Sword isn't on here.
Yeah, this will be the Mars X-Men team, and it'll probably be a mixture of Krakoan and Arakko
stuff,
mutants.
Yeah, because Arakko was so important there for a minute, and then they just kind of fell off.
It's just kind of disappeared, yeah.
They just kind of disappeared. But again, when we talk about Inferno this week, they might be coming back with a vengeance soon.
Yeah.
Now, Eric Santi helping us out here in the chat there. Thank you, Eric, with the generous donation. I love how most of the X-writers aren't straight now, even though I'm sad that Hickman is leaving for the moment. He has given these creators a chance to work together, so I hope it works out for all the X-books. Well said, Eric. Yeah, I never even considered that first part, but oh my God, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and it's such a great fit for these characters, and like every one of these books has just been so damn good.
Yeah. again, it says a lot for, 2021, 2022 there, hey, human culture that hates and fears us, and so we must fight for our own on our own island and everything for our piece of the pie. And now here is, the writers that grew up reading that and now writing the books. Huh, that's pretty
and
cool.
then as Eric said, like Hickman, like given them a chance, he used his like pull to get all these people involved and get them all on these big books.
Yeah, I do believe that's called using your privilege for good.
Yeah,
is what that's called. Yeah, he set the table, so now everyone gets a chance to eat. And yeah, that of course is the big, like, I don't want to call it fear, because honestly, I'm not scared at all that this is going to be the Krakoa era minus Hickman. So there's a fair share of like sink or swim going on.
Well, like we've already kind of seen Hickman leave because he's only got Inferno now, and like kind of Teeny Howard's kind of taken over his position as sort of the one sort of like looking after everything. And I don't feel like any giant shift or anything. Like there's no tonal shift or anything. It feels exactly the same. Nothing
is on fire. Everything actually seems to be moving along pretty good. I'm not enjoying Trial of Magneto. But
that feels like a book that just should have been an X Factor arc.
Yeah, well, it was going to be before they changed it. But it's like, hey, you know what? Not everyone can hit like a 10 out of 10 every time. So like, you got to have a Fallen Angels, you got to have a Trial of Magneto, and like if those are the two worst ones you've done, then you're still doing all right.
Not to mention the book is about Scarlet Witch, and like the best writer in the world couldn't make sense of that character.
I mean, yeah, the longer that series goes on, that just becomes more and more apparent, where it's like, look, it's not an X-Men problem. It's a Marvel problem with Scarlet Witch, and that is they cannot help themselves but tell the same goddamn story every time.
Remember when she got rid of the mutants?
Yes, oh my god. Now, remember her children when she married Vision? Yeah, I know, I watched the TV show just recently. You remember Avengers Mansion? You remember? Yeah, I remember all these things. Can you not do anything new with her? Apparently not.
No.
Remember when she was Magneto's daughter? Yeah, I do remember that, and then you guys changed it because you were in a pissing contest with Fox, and you kind of still haven't changed it back?
No.
Fucking weird. Though also, hey, here's Magneto on the cover wearing his classic red suit, and he also looks like he has broken manacles there, so I guess he makes it out of the Trial of Magneto, everybody.
Well, I mean, in that first issue, you could tell it wasn't him, but everyone was so obsessed with it being him,
Yeah, and we had to call it Trial of Magneto because we wanted it to sell, and if we called it, hey, Scarlet Witch again, people probably wouldn't want to read it.
But see, that would have sold though, because that just started coming out just at the end of WandaVision.
At the show, yeah.
So, and like that was super popular. So it doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
It shows the weird ass relationship that Marvel has with Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, goddamn.
That they won't even put her name in the book that is technically all about her.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's your X-Men, Destiny of X, everyone. Decide now what you want to add to your pull list and what you don't.
Well, these are like all the new books coming out. Like there isn't. I mean, I guess is that Sabretooth one still happening?
Oh yeah, the Sabretooth miniseries. Because
that's not on there.
No, it isn't. But I don't think it's part of Destiny of X because it was announced before.
Yeah, true.
But yes, that one is still coming out, and we'll probably get another Inferno or another like, oh, here's a special extra book that we're throwing into the mix.
Another giant-sized X-Men or something, yeah.
Another giant size. Also, hey, can Wolverine and X-Force be written by different people so I don't feel like I need to read both? Because if I read one, I gotta read the other. Look, I can't just be reviewing X-Men books. I need to review other things. I need to be allowed to review other things, please. I'm just one man. I'm tired. I can't
the X-Men. And maybe an Avengers book every now and then.
Yeah, really. There's 2 Spider-Man books now. I never thought I'd review 2 Spider-Man books.
That's a lot better. Didn't there used to be like 3 or 4 of them?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
web of, amazing, adjective list. Eric helping us out one more time. I also love the promo art is equally cheesecake and beefcake. You are absolutely right. You've got shredded ass shirtless Dawkins over there who has only got more vascular as time has gone on. And then of course you got sexy Goblin Queen and sexy everyone else there. Storm just got her hair did and is showing off to the whole room.
That's the thing with these X-Men. It's like the Krakoan era. It's the horny era. Yeah.
God, hell yeah, it is. So horny. The island is so horny. Even it fucks. And eats too, as we'll talk about when we talk about what we read this week. And in fact, we can start that right now. What did you read this week, Matt?
Well, did you want to talk about Inferno? Because I haven't read it yet, because I actually forgot about it until last night.
Oh, you haven't read it? Oh my god.
Just tell me, just spoil it for me. I don't give a fuck about spoilers.
Okay then. So 4 massive game-changing things happen in this issue. Remember before I said that Cypher is more important now than he's ever been?
Mm-hmm.
So we actually travel all the way back to, like, the first issue of Hawks and Pox, where Xavier's like, hey, Cypher, you're one of the first people we're telling about the Krakoa experiment. You want to help us make a language and connect with the island?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a whole year we didn't see where Doug and Warlock just lived on the island and tried to get to know Krakoa.
Okay.
And also, here's the thing. Xavier didn't know that Warlock was there.
Okay.
Because
I do remember there was something there where, like, only he could see him or something.
Yeah. Yes, because what does Moira fear? A future where, mutant kind is wiped out by machine kind, because machine kind and mutant kind are the only ones who will survive in the future. This means that a techno-organic machine, a living sentient alien, mutant life, Warlock's a lot of fucking things.
Yeah.
Was basically a secret founding father of Krakoa.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, right? It gets crazier from there. So, you know how they imply sometimes that Krakoa needs to eat?
Mm-hmm.
That, like, they feed it every so often. That, it can also survive off, like, psycho energy sometimes, which is why it's okay with people living there.
Yeah.
Well, apparently if it doesn't eat, it goes dormant.
Okay. And
Cypher found this out when he was living on the island for a year, that it needed to eat, but it didn't have enough psychic energy to maintain it. So what Doug decided to do was to start feeding Krakoa pieces of Warlock, because it wouldn't hurt him, and he'd just grow it back anyway. So that means the entire, like, bottom part of Krakoa is filled with machine life.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, nobody knows that yet.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, but it gets better. Because, Doug and Warlock are like a symbiotic form, and they work together and everything. Doug can access that machine life whenever he wants, and he can use it to listen to anyone on the island.
Oh, so it's like his own personal, like, listening posts.
His own personal spy network. And the whole thing is that when Krakoa and Warlock and all of them were hanging out, they're like, look, do we trust Xavier? Because he's, like, let us die in the past, and he's kind of a dickhead. Tell you what, we're gonna put this listening array in place here. And it's just going to be for us as, like, an ultimate safety net. We're going to listen in on him, and if he goes too far, we'll have to drop a dime on him and tell everybody. So when Moira starts making herself known and says, I want fucking Destiny killed, Doug hears it.
Yeah, here's that conversation they had in, the last issue, where they went to see Moira?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, yes.
He heard all of that, and he's like, oh no, I'm gonna have to tell everyone. Holy shit.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is bad. This is so bad. Then we hook back up with Destiny and Mystique, who are taking a meeting with the White Queen. Obviously, Eric and Xavier tried to recruit the White Queen into their little cadre with Moira to keep control of the island from the shadows. And Emma turned them down, saying, this is bullshit, I'm not doing this. Mm-hmm. Not only am I not doing this, I'm also telling on you. I'm also telling on you to Destiny herself. They had no idea that Moira was alive, let alone a mutant, so Emma drops that bomb on them and then psychically shares the image from one of Moira's last lives where Mystique and Destiny burn her alive.
Oh, Jesus.
So they're like, oh, that's why she's mad at us, huh? Oh, fuck. That's pretty bad. Emma also hates Moira with a burning passion, and she has such a beautiful monologue that is so wonderfully succinct, where she's like, her power scares me more than any other power in the world, because it means that she can burn us all to the ground if she wants and just start over.
Yeah.
And that scares the shit out of me, a person who has no connection to anything because they can always just start over.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, when you put it that way, that is horrifying. Doesn't matter what you do to me, doesn't matter what happens around me, I'll just start over. But here's the extra rub. Emma's not going to help Destiny and Mystique because she's like, I don't like you two either. You're both like chaotic criminals who might burn this place down anyway. I'm going to be Switzerland. I'm just going to be sitting back here, let you guys beat the shit out of each other, and then I will pick up the pieces, because when that happens, I could very well be White Queen of all of Krakoa. I'd be I'd be like fucking Littlefinger there. I'd have the money and the influence. I could take over everything if I wanted.
Oh, yeah.
And even though I'm arguably the best person in this, I'm still kind of power hungry. And it's so well done. I'm like, yeah, you tell him, Emma. Yeah, you take over. I want you to have this, Emma. You've been doing a better job running this place than most people.
Yeah. She's been at least transparent in like what she wants and everything with people.
Also, you've made the most of your second chance as like a former supervillain, former bad girl. You're actually trying to help now for the first time ever.
You're the one who's basically letting the island flourish.
Yeah, you're the one. You're one of the only handful of people that proves that the Krakoan experiment can work.
Yeah.
We check back in with Magneto, and he's in like full-on moat mode at this point. He's like, no, the walls are closing in. We told Emma she's gonna tell everyone. Oh my God, Charles, we're so fucked. We're so fucked. And he's like really sad. He was like, I thought we were so close this time. I thought we were finally gonna do it. We're going to, complete our dream. But maybe it's good that we didn't, because Krakoa has been built on a lie this whole time, and that's like deeply fucked. I'm Magneto, and even I think it's deeply fucked up that we built this paradise on a lie.
Yep.
And Charles is like, hey man, snap out of it. Stop talking like that, man. We're so close, and it's gonna be different. That's what no one understands. Yes, we're corrupt as the humans. Yes, we built this on a lie, but all that matters is the end game. We're gonna be different than the humans who hated and feared us. We're gonna show mercy, man.
Not really. No, you're not.
And it's like, man, is he really so far gone, Xavier? Is he believing his own shit now? Does he actually think that, or is he just saying it?
I reckon he believes it. He's like tricked himself into believing it. After all those years.
Like the worst cult leaders, I believe my own hype now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what he is. That's not even the biggest thing. The big final bombshell on this is we check back on in with Orchis, and Nimrod is sitting there talking with Omega Sentinel. They keep sending X-hit teams to kill him, but it doesn't work, so they're feeling comfortable enough to start rebuilding Mother Mold. Mm-hmm. Which, of course, is a pretty big deal. And Nimrod has, grown so much more advanced and, so much smarter than anyone thought he could after coming online. And he's like, yes, I can see residual tachyons now for the first time. Hey, Omega Sentinel, when are you from? Not where, when are you from? I know your secret, Omega Sentinel. Omega Sentinel.
I have a feeling there was something fucky with her.
Because she keeps coming back, right? And she's connected to everything. So as we find out this issue, Omega Sentinel is from the future, but not just any future. She is from a future where mutants are the dominant species on the planet, where they won the war with machines and killed the Dominion, the big, like, Lovecraftian tech gods that we saw all the way back in Hawks and Pox.
Yeah, and they've basically, like, fucked up everything in doing so, yeah.
Well, we don't know for sure. For the machines certainly feel that way, that they've, like, destroyed everything. And there's, like, one Dominion left who was, like, a coward and didn't fight with the others. And it grabs Omega Sentinel and sends her consciousness back in time through a black hole to overwrite the her that she is now, to give her all the information of the future. And also to found Orchis, because Omega Sentinel is the real power behind Orchis. Yeah. It was never Dr. Devo. Dr. Devo's a fucking kid that Omega Sentinel picked up one day and said, you're my human whisperer now, okay? They have to think you're running it and have to believe in the racism.
You're my mouthpiece,
You're my mouthpiece, basically, because we machines are already more superior than you humans, but we need you to get to work for us.
Oh, man, that's so cool.
I know. So the machines have secretly been running Orchis this whole time. Which means that also Moira and Omega Sentinel they didn't even know that they are in this, like, cosmic time travel chess game with each other.
Yep.
This also means that maybe Mystique can't kill Moira even though she really wants to, because they're probably going to need her future sight if they're going to beat Omega Sentinel and Nimrod.
Yep. So what's the under-over that Omega Sentinel, she'll find out about the island and end up using all of that like techno-organic robot shit under it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's where it's headed.
Yeah, that's the biggest Chekhov's gun I've ever seen, that the island is actually half robot too.
Or somehow the mutants end up just being like fuck it and using it themselves and kind of going against everything Xavier wanted with destroying the robots and stuff, and instead using them to help fight against Orchis.
That's an option. Captain Kuhn helping us out in the chat. Oh no, man, I'm freaking out, Charles. The dream is collapsing. Magneto definitely coming down from his power high. Oh, 100%. Like the party's been going on for too long now. There's empty bottles everywhere. Oh man, I should have been at work 3 days ago.
No one like thinks of him as like a leader anymore. No one like listens to him. He's like lost Lily's power. He's like I'm not gonna say that because that's actually no, I'm not gonna say that.
and Xavier just being the worst type of friend, being there like, no man, the party never has to stop, man, keep it going forever. I don't want to drink alone, man. I'm dragging you down with me. But yeah, it's fucking nuts there. And also, too, there's this interesting subtext, too, that there was a year where Krakoa, Warlock, and Doug lived in peace. A mutant, a robot, and this sentient island that's kind of both. And I'm like, oh, is this like the idea of the future they're showing us, where it's like, no, cohabitation is possible so long as you're not a power-hungry dickhead.
Yeah, the problem being that Charles and Magneto and all that are power-hungry dickheads, even if they say they aren't.
Yeah, we want to save the future. We want to save our kind, but we want to do it our way with us at the head of it, you know.
Yeah, and we want to do it through like backstabbing and like we'll keep saying like we're better than humans, and like we don't resort to like stuff they do, but we'll always do stuff they do, and
because the ends justify the means. And because this is really a story about nationalism, which I think flies over a lot of people's heads, where they're like, why are the mutants doing bad things now? They're not heroes anymore. Yeah, because they're politicians now, because they're building a nation, because every nation, probably the nation you live in right now, was built on horrible atrocities and, you know, treating people like shit, because every nation is built on the bones of those who came before.
And it's like, how do people not get that? Like, you had like Cyclops recently basically broadcast that. It's like, I hate being part of this nationalist Orwellian landscape. I'm gonna leave to be an actual superhero for a change.
Yeah, we've lost our way. We need to get back to basics, everyone. This isn't how you change hearts and minds.
Yeah.
And again, this idea too, where it's like, yeah, because that's what's so sinister about nationalism. It gets you to forgive any sin committed by your nation, because it's like, yeah, but it's my nation though, so it must be for the right reasons, right? Because I live here and my stuff is here.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how so many people are missing that fact there. That's what makes me worry about media literacy amongst your average comic reader, when this message that could not be louder.
Yeah. Like, the only way it could be even louder is if Hickman literally came on the page and said, this is about nationalism. And explain what nationalism is. Even then, people would be like, I don't buy it. It doesn't sound realistic enough.
No, I don't think so, man. But then again, this is the X-Men, where it feels like people have been misreading the X-Men forever.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, come on, in a world where people can watch Squid Game and be like, no, it's definitely pro-capitalism. No, it isn't.
Yeah, we're going to make a YouTube show about it and make fun of it, not realizing the consequences of doing that.
That is like a Paul Verhoeven level of dystopian. Oh my God, this motherfucker missed the point so hard. So that's a thing. But yeah, so that's Inferno. Inferno is fucking nuts. Again, to think this late in the game they can still totally rewrite the book.
This is Hickman's like, okay, got one more issue left. Let's just drop the mic, straight away, and just leave everyone wanting more.
Eric, continuing to help us out tonight, thank you so much. Has Warlock ever encountered Nimrod before? That's an excellent question.
Again, we could easily get like some sort of like in that year, like maybe he did. Maybe Nimrod is a part of him.
Well, also here's the thing too, and this is why Hickman is smart. there have been Nimrods before this Nimrod, but this is very much a new version of him who was made off like the brain scans of a dead human. So I can say beyond the shadow of a doubt, this Warlock never met this Nimrod.
Yeah, he could have easily met the Nimrods before and maybe even after him, but this particular one, no.
He never met this particular one, who's basically a new guy and is acting like, Nimrods we've never seen before.
Yeah, he's sentient, more for a better lack of a word.
He's more human in the way because he's based on human brains. Which in a way makes him kind of like Ultron, doesn't it?
He's a little Ultron-ish.
Yeah. How does Ultron feel about this war between mutants and machines in the future?
He's still like that weird amalgamation with Hank Pym, I think, at the moment.
So he's at war with himself, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's the story they need to do. That needs to be the next big event there, mutants versus machines, where you got guys like Vision and Machine Man and everyone being like, well, we'd like to help the mutants, but like...
they kind of hate us,
I just saw you guys smashing all your iPads in the street and everything and setting them on fire, and I'm basically half iPad.
Like I don't even think Vision would even want to help, because he's like fucking married to a Scarlet Witch and they fucking hate her there.
Yeah, really. Yeah, he'd be trying to get Scarlet Witch to be like, look, just come to a machine rally. Look, just come and hang out with my machine friends.
It's just fine. You don't need to participate or anything. You just watch. It's fine.
Just hang out with me and my machine friends. They got some interesting ideas.
Yeah. We'll give you some pamphlets.
It's just her sitting next to like a bunch of machine villains there and everything.
Yeah. You got Vision. You got Aaron Stack, Machine Man.
Machine Smith.
Yeah, Machine Smith. You got Ultron.
All just hanging out.
Yeah.
Now that's a book there, The League of Super Machines. The Machine Vengeance. We'll get that Wolverine that's also kind of a robot.
Yep.
Everyone who was in Iron Man 2021 can hang out.
Yep.
Remember when the original Nimrod was merged with Master Mold to become Bastion? Yeah, and Bastion is maybe still in Havoc's mind, or not.
Yeah, we're not really sure yet.
They never answered that question, but then again, like, he's died several times, so maybe he got like a fresh mind reboot. Maybe
maybe it's
isn't there anymore.
Rebooted in his mind.
Yeah, maybe he's not there anymore. Who knows? All right, what else did you want to talk about, Matt? Because we could just talk about X-Men forever in a day.
Where we have to do that show at one point where we just spend 2 hours talking about X-Men.
I mean, look, there'll be a point when, like, the whole Hickman era, the Krakoa era comes to an end. We'll have to do, like, a whole look back at it.
Yeah, exactly.
We really, really will. But what book would you like to talk about next?
Let's talk about Dark Knights of Steel, issue 2.
Yes, another big Tom Taylor book where, oh boy, threw down the gauntlet in the first issue and comes out swinging in this one.
Yeah, lots of shit happens. We absolutely get confirmation that the Bruce Wayne in this world is half Kryptonian. Since he uses heat vision when Jor-El gets shot in the fucking face.
He might not be faster than a speeding bullet, but he's definitely faster than a speeding arrow and can grab it out of midair with his hand, which is pretty fucking boss.
Yeah, the arrow that was shot by Oliver Queen, which was powered by the Green Man, which is this world's version of the Green Lantern.
Yes, but maybe not Hal Jordan, because they make a big point of never showing the Green Man's face.
Well, I think it might be like the Spectre Hal Jordan.
Yeah,
or like a Parallax version.
In which case, that's super cool, and like, that's why you don't show the face.
Yeah. Bruce catches up to him, cuts off Oliver's arm, which is a nice reference to, obviously, Red Arrow getting his arm cut off.
That, and also, let's face it, Dark Knight Returns, where he doesn't have an arm.
Yes.
Apparently, it's not a DC Elseworlds unless Green Arrow is missing an arm.
Loses the thing that he uses to shoot his bow. Yeah.
He's got goddamn Luke Skywalker luck, doesn't he?
So he gets captured, but he won't talk. And the rest of the issue is just sort of the House of L sort of trying to figure out what to do, because they all think it's Jefferson Pierce and his people. It is, and General Waller is trying to convince him we got to go to war. We got to go to war with them, and Prince Clark, or whatever you want to call him, Prince Cal, doesn't want to go to war just yet until they figure out if it was him. He wants to be 100% sure.
We need to know for sure.
Obviously, it was Jefferson Pierce who did it because he's going off of Constantine's vision about something happening to the House of El, like them turning into tyrants or something.
Or something, yes. So something about demons. They keep mentioning a prophecy about like gods and demons, but it's pretty vague. They don't come out and explain it.
And even Constantine like is doubting his own vision, where it's like, should we really have done that? That's, you just pissed off a bunch of superpowered beings. Is that really that
I liked
smart?
the elves. I thought they were okay.
Yeah, there was nothing about them that really wasn't. And Jefferson is sure to make it known that like any magical person in their realm just like mysteriously disappears. And I like that John like blames that on Batman. It's like, well, that's Batman. He's a fucking weirdo, wears a fucking bat themed armor,
They say he's got his own personal hang up, which leads me to believe, ooh, how did the Waynes die in this world then if Batman has some like hatred of magic? Did a magic person kill them?
Maybe Joker is magic in this world. Magical
Maybe
Joe
so,
Chill or something.
With a magic bullet. In a magic alley. Yeah, I love we see Castle L's prison, and it's just filled with cameos.
It's Arkham Asylum.
It is. We got King Shark, Blue Devil. We got the Aerie, who looks exactly like the Aerie, because they wear medieval robes anyway.
Yeah. Detective Chimp, all these characters who have just been arrested just for being different by like what Harley says. They haven't been tried for any crime. They haven't committed any crime. It's just because they were maybe magical, or we know they're metahumans, but the people in this realm think it to be magic.
Because it's the Dark Ages, obviously. They wouldn't know the difference. And because we know magic is one of the few things that can hurt a Kryptonian.
Yes.
They probably have an extra boner for that. It's fun in this issue, too, because we see a total reversal of fortunes where Batman is trying to be the cool-headed one and stopping a war from breaking out, where, like, Clark is a little angrier and upset and be like, I'm going to make him talk. I'm going to make the green guy talk.
And you can kind of understand where that anger is coming from. His father just died, was just murdered, and they have the man who murdered it, so he is angry. But I do like at the end where they could have easily made it so, like, okay, he's young, he's impulsive, he's going to kill Green Arrow, but he doesn't.
No, they turn it on its head in a very interesting way, where Green Arrow is like, oh, your dad wasn't as good as you thought he was. You didn't know what he was up to. He's a monster. You're all monsters. And Clark's like, well, shit, I can't kill you now, or I'll only prove your point.
You're filthy alien scum. They know they're aliens. They know they're aliens.
Yeah. They know. They really do. And hey, also, as we find out in this issue, the Superman family's a little bigger than we thought. We got bastard son Bruce, Prince Clark, but also sister Zala, who is hanging out with the Amazons.
Yeah, she's off training with the Amazons. And Zala is obviously meant to be Kara.
Of course.
But yeah, she's his sister in this. But I think it's not like biological sister. I think it's just she came to Earth. Her parents are dead. They took her in. She became kind of like Bruce is like his brother, quote unquote.
Yeah, they didn't say that one way or another. I just jumped to the conclusion where it's like, oh, well, if Jor-El and Lara lived, they probably would have tried to have another kid at some point.
Yeah, so she's living with the Amazons. She's in a relationship with Wonder Woman, who we meet this issue. We meet Lois Lane this issue, who's a brilliant part of her character in this. She's like a messenger spy.
She delivers the news.
Delivers the news. She's like an investigative spy journalist person.
In a day before paper, she still found a way to deliver the news.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Very nice touch there. And the idea is that if the houses of El and the houses of Storm go to war, then it will end up bringing all the other kingdoms into the battle, and the Amazons are seemingly one of them. And Wonder Woman also is implied to know more about the prophecy than others, because maybe she's immortal in this world still, or maybe not. We don't know.
And not only that, it's sought to imply that at least her and Lois and like Hippolyta have been working to prevent this prophecy from coming true. But in like having Zala there, they've ensured that it comes true, because Zala hears this news that Jor-El dies, and she rushes off in a fit of rage to the Kingdom of Storms and takes Jefferson's son Jacob and kills him as sort of like an act of revenge.
Yeah, very, very Game of Thrones circle of violence, right? Yeah. When does it stop?
Yeah.
It's so funny too, because when they introduced that character, I'm like, oh hey, what is it? Black Lightning has a son in this world. Cool. You know, he's got daughters, Thunder and Lightning. Oh, and his son can do rain. Man, in a medieval agricultural society, I bet he's everyone's favorite because he can make their fucking crops grow.
We should have known he was Dark because he's like technically like a new character is introduced in a Tom Taylor book.
Yeah, oh, he ain't making it. This guy ain't making it all.
He might as well have just worn a red shirt, you know?
Hey, maybe he lives. Maybe they just brand the broke in his ass. Maybe he just falls to the ground really hard and breaks his spine. Maybe that's the moment they're going for. But yeah, Dark Knights of Steel, so cool.
It is. It continues to be just so cool. It's just like the reimagining of all these characters is just so refreshing.
I feel like most writers would have just rested on their laurels and been like, yeah, it's a Justice League story, but in medieval times.
It's Superman, but he's got armor that has like the big S on, and Batman's got the symbol of the bat on, and they fight with the swords, and yeah.
But here it's like, how much other new stuff and new angles can we find to it all? Yeah,
and I like that the characters as well, they're like different versions of the characters, but they still have those core characteristics of them. They do all this different stuff with like Cal and Bruce and all that, but it's still Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent.
Yeah, absolutely. Even Harley's great here too, being kind of like the council, which a lot of people don't realize that, but old-timey jesters, that was their job. They made people laugh, but also they were the only ones who were legally allowed to insult royalty without getting killed, and oftentimes they were sought for counsel because they were like former monks and learned people.
And again, it fits so well with her story as like a former psychologist and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, like you go to someone who's kind of wise in that regards to like what to do next and that sort of stuff.
I do wonder if we're going to see medieval Joker and what his deal is.
I have a feeling we will.
Yeah, because, I mean, why wouldn't you? Who doesn't want to see an old-time
He'll be like
Joker?
A mad king or something.
Or something. Yeah, I like that. Of the kingdom of Arkham.
That's too good. That's too good.
It's the mad king of Arkham.
Yeah, and it's like a swampy shithole or something.
Where everything's green with purple gas. Joseph Kerr. Yeah, the shitty king there, and like his general is Bane and everything, and you know they've got the Crocodile Man and everything.
Yeah, the Crocodile Man who lives in the swamp or something. Yeah.
Bring my royal physician, Hugo Strange. Verily I do say, the earth remove around the sun and not t'other way round. I'm very smart. That's good shit. What else was this week? Ooh, one of the big books this week was, of course, Devil's Reign #1.
Yeah, holy shit.
Oh my god. Man, Zdarsky is another one of those writers who just makes it look easy.
I know.
It's like he just said, hey, you know how the relationship and never-ending rivalry between Kingpin and Daredevil is one of the greatest, most interesting, most Shakespearean things in all of comics literature? What if we made that the backbone of an event, and what if everyone else got pulled into it one time?
Yeah, what if Wilson Fisk showed how much of a petty shithead he is, that it begins to pull in Avengers tier characters into this, what really is just kind of a slap fight between two costumed individuals.
Very. He's such an asshole. His asshole gapes so wide it threatens to absorb the entire Marvel universe. That's basically what it is. Kingpin's like, yo, I found my old files. I used to know your identity, and now I don't. Yeah. And now I'm so mad I'm going to burn the whole world down.
Something's fucky. I know you fucked with my mind. I'm going to find out why. But I hate heroes so much, I'm going to enact the Power Act.
Which I love the idea. He's like, I could have done this whenever I wanted, because I'm mayor, and that's just what I can do. And I love they mention champions. Like, oh yeah, the what is it? The Young Heroes Act there's precedent for it. I could have done this whenever I wanted, but I didn't. But now you've pissed me off, and now I'm going to play like a card that's been up my sleeve this whole time.
Yeah, I'm going to break the glass on the emergency like shit flinging weapon, you know.
Absolutely. And even people like Typhoid Mayor are like, this can never work, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is just like, you know, the Superhuman Registration Act on a smaller scale, and the heroes beat that. I love the lampshade hanging, and Fisk is like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they beat it or not. I'm mad now, though.
Yeah, I'm going to cause so much chaos that it's not going to fucking matter. And I like that as well when we see Tony Stark for the first time in the issue. He's like, yeah, look, we've been through this before. We've been through this twice, technically. Like, this never ends well, and this is just like the desperate play of a shitty gangster mayor.
Gangster mayor during an election year. I love they stress that, where it's like, this is an election year. This is I need to get tough on something, so I'm getting tough on heroes. And Fisk goes all out on this. He's like, I'm creating a brand new militarized branch of the NYPD who is already fighting with the superhero community because they back Daredevil's escape from jail. I'm calling them the Thunderbolts Division because fascists all over the world love lightning bolt iconography.
Yeah, and we're going to have all these soldiers just round up people, and then when heroes get out of control, or like the cops or our soldiers can't deal with them, we'll send in the actual Thunderbolts team, which is US Agent and who else was Rhino a part of it? Rhino,
Agony,
Shocker,
and Lady Elektra.
Yeah, Electro, that's right.
Electro, yeah. Which I love that Fisk was shit-talking symbiotes before and being like, it's the hero's fault. Spider-Man brought the symbiotes to Earth, and Thor brought the ice giants. I love he talks shit about symbiotes, then hires a symbiote for his team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, of course.
Just to show his hypocrisy. And they go after Moon Knight first, and Moon Knight's like, I can beat these guys up all day.
He's done it before. He's pushed in their shit. He's pushed in the Thunderbolt shit before, so he'll do it again.
It's almost a tradition at this point. And again, you know, I really hope we see the average people of New York being like, so he deputized a lot of supervillains as his stormtroopers, huh? Don't know if I like that.
One of my favorite parts about this is that, like, we had that US Agent series, and he was in United States Captain America, and John Walker learned nothing.
Learned nothing at all, which is perfectly in character.
Oh, absolutely. It's perfect characterization of him.
Johnny don't learn nothing. I found a fascist boot to lick, and I got right down there and right into it. Wilson gave me my own brown shirt. Aren't you happy for me, superhero community? No, John, we're not.
I didn't have to bring my own this time.
Yeah, really. Take back the night. Avengers will not replace us. Avengers will not replace us. Okay, John. Okay. You're the goddamn uncle that ruins Thanksgiving every year. Luke Cage gets a great moment in this. He gets a moment so good it almost makes up for them canceling that Ho Chi Anderson series.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, Electro is, Shocker is trying to capture Darkhawk, and he's doing more damage than anyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Luke and Jess get involved there and kick his ass, and he says, look, you can be a piece of trash with a badge, but it still makes you a piece of trash. And that ends up going viral there, and people are like, yeah, we love you, Luke Cage. And he gets probably the best quote of the issue, where he says, you know, cities like New York only work when we're allowed to help each other and get in there, you know, call it vigilantism, call it whatever you want. Yeah. But, you know, I know what I'm going to keep doing.
Yeah, and that also makes me think that it ties into Tony Stark's story, which we learn that Tony Stark's going to be getting involved, but not be fighting them as Iron Man. He's going to run for mayor against Fisk. But I don't think he's going to be running for mayor. No, I think Luke is going to be running for mayor.
It hit me as soon as I was done and posted the video. I'm like, no, because Luke is going to be a viral sensation now. Everyone's going to love him. He has the better story. And eventually Tony will have to figure out, like, oh, yeah, maybe like another rich megalomaniac shouldn't be running New York. Maybe it should be you, Luke.
It also kind of fits into that whole thing. Was like, Luke was Kingpin at one point. Yeah. And now he's taking Kingpin's role again, but as mayor this time.
That would be pretty cool. I would like that a lot.
He's always getting one over on Wilson. Why doesn't Wilson hate Luke more than he hates Daredevil?
I know, right? And also, hey, if that happens, that could lead to an excellent spin-off series, exactly. Luke Cage, Mayor of New York.
Exactly.
I'm a crime-fighting mayor who's also bulletproof. Try and assassinate this motherfucker, I dare you. But yeah, this is solid. This is really solid. There's so much to love about this, and also pretty easy to pick up, even if you haven't been reading the Chip Zdarsky run. You really should, but you don't have to.
No, it was definitely really damn cool. And as well as this is my first exposure properly to Miles's new costume. The minute I saw him, I thought it was Kane.
Yeah, I know, right? It's not.
I'm like,
not
is that
good.
Kane? It's like, no, it's fucking Miles. What the fuck? That's a terrible costume.
It's not great. I don't know if you saw it, but someone took the costume from Across the Spider-Verse when he like jumps universes and did it in like a new comic style. It looks so much better.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I wish I could find it. It looks so good because it's just all black, the red graffiti thing with the circle, and he's got red accents down the side of the arms and the legs. And I'm like,
nice.
oh, that's so cool. And it also does the whole like streetwear tracksuit thing that they're trying to do with the new costume, but it does it better.
Yeah, again, that new costume, like, what were they thinking? Like, because it looks like Kane's costume.
Very much so. Too close to Kane. I really hope that when Across the Spider-Verse comes out, I hope they either put Miles back in his old suit or say, fuck it, the movie costume is his comic costume now.
They'll probably put him back in his old costume.
They did it to Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great. I get what they're going for. I understand they're trying to do a more like Brooklyn street level streetwear kind of thing that, you know, that's what Miles would wear and what he would create. And yeah, I get it, but it doesn't look as good as his old one though.
No, it's got too much red on it.
It's got too much going on. I don't like that it covers his mouth.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. That's weird. That's like too anime for me.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta cover the mouth.
Yeah.
He looks like a Naruto character. What else was this week? We had Batman this week.
Yeah, Joshua Williamson's new issue.
His big debut. They didn't waste any time getting in on this one.
They didn't waste any time getting him in and getting him to just basically clean house.
They do more Fallout clean out in this than they did in Fear State Omega.
Oh, absolutely. I knew it was going to happen. I knew, like, reading that Omega, I'm like, Titan's just leaving all his shit for the other writers to clean up.
It also felt like Williamson was like going through a checklist of stuff fans wanted to see. Hey, Batman doesn't fight traditional crime anymore. Okay, he's going to fight traditional crime here for a little bit.
Yeah, he's going to go through the city that's celebrating Tynan leaving the book, and
man, that almost felt like a little shade, didn't it? Like, oh, we're celebrating, we're so happy Fear State's over, things are finally gonna get back on track, we're so happy.
Yeah, and he fights his classic rogues gallery, because they're all like
with a twist.
Mercenaries dressed up like the Joker and Mr. Freeze and all that.
Costume party.
Yeah, they're robbing a costume party with Firefly.
Yeah, it's a billionaires club party, which Bruce wasn't invited to because he's not a billionaire anymore, so we're at least keeping that part of it. My other favorite thing is after he beats them all up, as Killer Croc, which is no doubt a reference to Almost Got Him, the Batman the Animated Series episode, a little girl dressed as Punchline wants his autograph, and I felt like that was like Williamson giving a little thumbs up to Tynan, being like, look, this is a character that will maintain as a costume if nothing else.
Yeah. That's like the only one of like Williamson's stuff that kind of stays around, because like he's quick to get rid of Ghostmaker. Ghostmaker died on his way back to his home world. Yeah.
And he took Clown Hunter with him.
Yep.
But hey, at least they got mentions. They got mentions. The Justice League got mentions. Detective Comics got mentions. To Joshua Williams' credit, the dude is a collaborative dude.
Yeah, now there was one thing in there that actually I didn't recognize, and that was like in that page with the Justice League where they're talking about Batman being busy. There's like a Batman who has like a domino mask on, and like, who the fuck is that?
If I had to guess, and I didn't know the answer to this either, I'm going to guess maybe that was Nightwing's when he lost his memory for a bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because like, I was like, wait, who? Because it kind of sort of looks a little bit like a young Alfred.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because it has like I think he had like a mustache or like a stubble or something. And it made me thought of that like one piece of art that Jorge Jimenez did for Tynan's Run that had that one guy.
Yeah, that guy
that apparently was Jace Fox, but it looked nothing like Jace Fox.
Because clearly they changed the art between 5G and Future State and everything.
And that guy looks like a younger Alfred because he had like the pencil mustache and everything.
Yeah, that was...
Where the fuck was this? It wasn't in any books I read.
Maybe that's a Nightwing's holdover. Maybe it's something that happened in Urban Legends that we didn't read.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe it was an urban legend. Maybe this is Williamson being cheeky and being like, you'll know what this means in Infinite Frontier or something later when I write it.
Yeah, possibly.
Because again, this dude's basically shouldering the whole company at this point, so he can put references in for future stuff. Why not? The best part of this issue is Batman really coming to this realization that there is nothing keeping him in Gotham anymore, because Oracle asks him a question that ends up being much more cutting than she thought, and then it's like, what do you normally do to celebrate one of these big events being over? And he's like, well, I'd hang out with Alfred, I'd hang out with my son Damian, I'd hang out with Superman, and okay, I can't do any of those things anymore because they're all gone and out of my life now for one reason or another. And I'm like, oh, that fucking stings.
Yeah, there isn't really anything keeping him in Gotham. Nothing's around for him to I mean, he could maybe Barbara posits like, hey, come hang out with Dick and me and all that, but nothing really there.
My children have grown up. They don't need me anymore. My friends are either dead or have moved on. It's a very real moment. He like taps into there about getting older. You know, you go to more funerals than weddings.
Yeah, and there's also the whole thing where it's like the city doesn't particularly need him now.
Because there's like 12 bat people running around.
And not only that, but like you think about like Fear State, and all he really did was like hit Scarecrow a couple of times. It was really like the Insanity Collective who stopped the bomb, and Nightwing and the Batgirls and all that took down Magistrate and Poison Ivy. So he didn't really do much.
No, so it kind of is like, I've taught them well. Maybe the city doesn't need me anymore. Maybe I can move on. And luckily for him, he gets a great international murder mystery to follow to get him out of his funk and to get him out of the city.
Yeah, because as we find out, Batman Inc. apparently murdered someone over in Badizia.
So he needs to get there and check it out and everything. And turns out I know the cop working the case. That's cool.
Yeah, he knows the cop. He turns up at the crime scene in his new costume, which is the really cool one that's great. On the cover, which is the old Batman Inc. costume.
Yellow on the bat. Yes please.
About
Pump
time.
Into my fucking veins, please.
He turns up and he deduces from the crime scene that they did kill this guy whose name is Abyss. It's the new villain of the series, which I thought was quite interesting that we start with the villain's death.
Yes, we made so much fun of Abyss a couple episodes back, and we're like, oh god, why is everyone trying to be the new Deathstroke, the new Ghostmaker? Why does no one ever just want to be like the next Riddler? And yet here comes Joshua Williamson completely subverting our expectations and being like, no, his death is what kicks this off, actually.
Yeah, and apparently Justice, he was like terrorizing Badizia and everything and kidnapping people, killing people, and Batman Inc. came in and just fucking straight up murdered him.
They murked his ass there, which seems out of character, but as Batman says, he kind of lost contact with a lot of the people in Batman Inc. because when he lost his billions of dollars, he couldn't fund international superheroes anymore. Yeah,
and it's here we're introduced to the new benefactor of Batman Inc. And that benefactor is Lex Luthor.
Lex motherfucking Luthor, which I love that too, because it's like, Superman's not on Earth anymore. I'm also bored and have nothing holding me to Metropolis, so I thought I'd come do this. We're both two wayward rich men with nothing else to do.
Not only that, but it's like such a fucking dick move, Lex. He'll come back and be like, okay, what's happening? Oh, Bruce Wayne lost all his money. That means Batman Inc. is not being funded by him. I'm going to pick it up and look like the big hero where Bruce Wayne failed.
Time to buy up some assets.
Yeah.
Which, again, I think people have been pitching that story forever. It's like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if Luthor and Batman fought more as, like, rich dickheads? Because they could.
Yeah.
Pretty strong start.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. What's going on? The only thing that really made me sort of like sit back in my chair and kind of let out a big audible sigh was that I think a couple of days ago, Tynan announced there's a big event happening in the Batman because Batman, Robin, and Deathstroke are all connecting to make some Shadow War event.
Oh yeah, that was Williamson. Yeah, he was talking about that in like the end of the first Deathstroke Inc. issue. He's like, this and Robin and Batman are gonna cross over.
Yeah,
like, of course.
I saw like all the covers for it, and I'm like, oh. Just write a fucking single story for each book. Just stop crossing them over.
I know. But hey, Williamson hasn't steered us wrong yet. Maybe he actually has a reason. Because I know every other time they've crossed over Batman and Deathstroke, it's been super underwhelming. Like, every writer wants to do it, but I can't think of a really good one that they've done.
Yeah, it never really ends really well.
No, but they're like, oh, but Batman's so fucking cool and Deathstroke's so fucking cool. What if they fought right? You know, they're both rich guys with butlers. And yeah, I know, but there's like very little there. And, you know, like, Batman's really good with his sidekicks and his children, and all of Deathstroke's kids hate him. Yeah, I know. That's still not really anything, though.
No.
Remember that time Robin thought he might have been Deathstroke's son? Yeah, that was a dumb story that went nowhere. Yeah, but okay, I'll leave now. Now, if it's the Deathstroke family versus the Bat family, that'd be kind of interesting.
I think it'd be pretty cool if, like, I'm sure it's probably going to be involved with, like, because they're doing stuff with, like, Ra's al Ghul and all that sort of stuff, aren't they? Yeah. I'm sure it'll be something like, I don't know, like, maybe, like, Deathstroke sees that Batman has left Gotham and decides to move his family in just to, like, take over from the Bat family or something. That'd be pretty cool.
Again, there's places they could go that I trust Williamson to have ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm really liking that Robin book. And I kind of dropped off on the Deathstroke book. Not because there was anything wrong with it, just because I needed some space and it wasn't, like, blowing my mind. It's the Deathstroke seems to be the book where he just fucks around and has fun.
Yeah.
Like, literally, the last issue was just double-page spreads.
Oh, nice.
A whole book of double-page spreads. Yeah. All right, so I had one more. What about you?
I had a couple more.
Okay. I'll let you go.
Where'd it go? I had Son of Kal-El annual.
Was dying to read this, didn't get around to it, unfortunately, like all the other annuals. I did breeze through it, though, and it looked super cool.
It is, yeah. So Lex Luthor comes back to town. What we actually get to see, like, a past fight between Clark, Superman, and Lex, where he's put in jail in a really cool way, where, like, Lex kind of incriminates himself because, like, Batman's listening in on their fight, and, like, Martian Manhunter took Metallo's place because, like, Lex was using Metallo to, like, weaken Superman with the kryptonite, right. but it's actually Manhunter, and they, like, sort of laid a trap for the villain.
Oh, cool.
And they send him to jail, and he wants to, like, play, like, a chess game with Superman in jail, but, like, Superman doesn't want to play his games, and that really upsets Luthor because he's not getting what he wants and everything. And so it's like, I'm not going to play your games, because if I do play your games, like, you could easily, like, beat me, because, like, yeah, you're, like, a genius, and I'm not, like, at your level, but, like, I can beat you in other ways, and that way is by not playing your game. So yeah, in the present, John is trying to search, like, the universes for his father by, like, using his, like, X-ray vision and stuff to look out, but he can't.
Oh, smart.
Doesn't know where his father's gone or anything. And it's here they find that Lex has come back because he's built the biggest, tallest building in Metropolis, and he's putting his big LexCorp sign on it. And in such a petty shitheel move, he's done it so that the sign's shadow is always cast over the Daily Planet.
What a dick.
Yeah. Suddenly it then just blows up, and John is quick to tell his mother that he isn't behind this, even though it looks like he was going to do that, but he's not behind it. We find out that it's actually a couple of Lex's own robots, because as we find out, Lex spent no time. He came back and he immediately sent his competitors these, like, boxes that had, like, apparently nanites in it, that if they don't send him $1.7 billion each, they'll enter their blood system and cause them to have a stroke. But the thing is, he like fucks with them, because it's like, are there nanites in the box or are there not nanites in the box? It's Schrodinger's deadly nanite, and it's like, so you have no choice but to send me this money.
That's fun.
So Superman goes to the building to save the sign from falling on some people, and he ends up getting into a team up with Lex, who is fighting his own robots, because as we find out that some of the processes in the robots were made by his competitors, and they, like, hacked them to, like, turn the robots on him. So that they end up teaming up, and Superman makes it clear that this is not a team up. I'm just helping kill these robots to stop people from getting hurt. And after the battle, Lex wants to continue the chess game that Clark and him were playing. with John, and John mistakes it because he's like, it's like Lex was saying, it's like, I was playing a game with your father, and John mistakes that for him thinking that this is all a game to him.
Right.
And he's like yelling at him, and he's like, no, actually, we were just playing chess. This isn't a game. This is like business and stuff like that. So they end up playing the game on the roof of the building, and they make a bet where it's if John wins, he gets to take down the LexCorp sign, but Lex doesn't want to make a bet because he's so cocksure he's going to win, because he learns that John doesn't know how to play chess or anything. So he's like, I'm gonna fucking win. I'm gonna fucking win.
You damn millennial not in chess.
The thing is, John ends up winning because he had. Because he left to like go clean up all the mess that was on the ground, so he had 7 minutes to learn everything he could about chess at the library, and learned everything he like read all of like Luthor's games, because of course Luthor, being an egotistical maniac, made it public, all his wins and everything, and how he beat. John studied it all at super speed and was playing the game of chess with him at super speed, and he ends up winning, and it's great because he still doesn't understand how chess works, so he's like, I won because my horsey is there.
That's good.
And Lex is completely enraged, because it's like, how did you win? And Superman's like, well, because you underestimated me. You thought I was just a kid. You thought I wasn't my father. And he ends up taking down the sign, but John returns with the LexCorp L. And it's like, here, you can take the L.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, the issue ends with Lex actually end up getting all that money from those people, and he's realizing that this new Superman is kind of on par with the old Superman, and it's like, okay, we need to kind of do something about this, because there's this whole through line throughout this issue and through Taylor's run of like John wanting to do more for the Earth.
Yeah.
And there's this great part in the issue where he talks, because Clark left him a sunstone crystal that has a construct of Clark on it, kind of like Jor-El.
Oh, cool.
Where he'll have someone to talk to and sort of vent his frustrations to someone who would know what those frustrations are. Right. And one of them is like, people need to do more on the Earth. Like, there's like rich and powerful people, but they're not doing anything. And the one thing that John says to Luthor is that people like you don't want to do anything because you're not going to be around to see the outcome of it. But
Pretty
people
true.
like Luthor will be around because they'll put their mind in like a robot or a clone or something. So
shoot themselves into space.
He kind of goads Lex into actually trying to make the world a better place by saying, it's like, you could do it, and you could have the power of you could have control over billions of people, and that's what you want, because you want that control over people like Superman and Justice League and everything. So he kind of tricks Luthor into like actually doing some good. But the problem is that Luthor does it in his own way, and that is by contacting Henry Bendix.
There you go. Hey, Bendix, you're the new me, apparently.
Yeah, you're bald.
Yeah, and evil.
Yeah.
Let's collab.
Yeah, so they're collaborating on something called The Rising.
That sounds like an event.
Yes, and that's going to be continuing, I guess, in Superman Son of Kal-El book somewhere.
That sounds really good. That sounds like an annual I would very much enjoy.
It was basically just another issue of it's a must read, because it's like continues that story. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a story I was chomping at the bit for, where it's like, yeah, but what happens when John as Superman runs into Luthor?
Yeah, and I love that it was so different to like I just love that the fact that John was able to trick Luthor into actually trying to do some good.
Damn it, young people, you got me with your activism. It's my kryptonite.
Oh, and they talk about how he got out of all the shit that went down in Snyder's run.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, they say that he got a plea deal for like all that shit because he convinced the jury and like the judge and stuff that Gorilla Grodd was controlling his mind and made him like do all that evil shit with the Legion of Doom and whatnot.
Gorilla Grodd, you motherfucker, blame it on me. Hope that comes back. I hope, what is it, Luthor's just getting his paper one day and there's a big psychic gorilla. Hey, motherfucker, surprise!
Yeah, comes back and tries to get revenge on him, and Superman has to save Lex again.
That would be fun. That would be very fun.
Yeah.
The last book I read this week, and I'll probably be pretty brief talking about this, I read Amazing Spider-Man 80 Point Beyond, the big Aunt May Doc Ock team-up vehicle.
Okay.
It's fucking weird. It's a really fucking weird issue.
Does it reference Doc's appearance in Devil's Reign?
No, it does not. I think it takes place before, but that's also one of my problems I had with it, is that they almost feel like two very different versions of Doc Ock.
Because he has like a big plan in that, because that's where he's going to get like all like the other versions of himself and whatnot.
Yes, his Superior Four and all that. So yeah, Aunt May goes to recruit Doc Ock, who, you know, she says, you know, is an old boyfriend and a super scientist. Surely he'll be able to help Peter. And it's like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then the problem is like, okay, well, how much does Doc Ock remember from his time as Superior Spider-Man? I know he put his mind in the living brain, so I guess he only remembers Aunt May as a woman he tried to date in the 60s and not as like an actual aunt who loved him when he was Peter.
Okay.
But the issue is just so weird in how they play the relationship, because it's like he keeps hitting on her, right? Like the whole issue is just Doc Ock hitting on Aunt May. But the book can't seem to make up its mind, where it's like, is this supposed to be funny? Is this supposed to be creepy? Is this supposed to be quirky murder, she wrote? They try and have their cake and eat it too, and I don't think it really works.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a bit of a letdown. They, tracked down where the UFOs were staying, because, Doc Ock creates like a special fucking Rick and Morty device that lets him read radiation signals. And apparently the cops didn't pick up the UFOs after Ben Reilly beat them up. They were picked up by someone called Infinite Solutions, a group that supposedly rehabs supervillains.
I was wondering what would happen then, because that issue where like Ben went after them, like it ended with like the implication that Ben like beat the shit out of him and maybe even killed them.
Maybe even killed them. Yeah, apparently they got picked up by a completely different organization. So Aunt May and Doc Ock have to infiltrate this building, but Aunt May is like really on Doc Ock, being like, I would do anything to save my nephew. I'd, move heaven and earth and make a devil's deal, but I know what kind of man you are, Otto, and if you, kill anyone or hurt anyone, our deal is off. Even though I'm coming into this with no end to the bargain myself, you're actually doing me a favor.
Yeah.
I guess my part of the thing is I don't slap you when you hit on me. But yeah, so they go into this building and they think it's going to be like a supervillain prison, but it's actually like a supervillain Club Med. It's like a really white-collar prison.
Okay.
Like whoever arrested the UFOs just wanted them to stay there and have no reason to escape.
Kind of like what Beyond would want.
Yeah, how about that, right? Again, it's almost like it's the easiest twist in the world to figure out. But yeah, so Doc Ock's like, we'll split up. I'll go deal with X-Ray and you go deal with Vapor. We need their genetic samples if we're ever going to help the doctors heal Peter, because apparently the doctors have no idea how to deal with someone who was hurt by a super accident, even though this is the Marvel universe.
Yeah, it's very like vague on what actually Peter has, because I assumed like he got radiation poisoning and has like cancer or something.
But he's in a coma, but also he absorbed fumes and a beating, and they're keeping it very vague on purpose. So like Otto gets into a big fight with X-Ray, and X-Ray is talking mad shit to him, saying that he's old and he can't hack it as a supervillain anymore, and that new Spider-Man beat him way harder, and he's the true superior individual. And Ock's like, you said the word I hate. Which is weird in and of itself, because it's like, why is Doc Ock in his new body still comparing himself to his time as Superior Spider-Man? Why does that bother him so much? Shouldn't he be past that? So he beats the shit out of him. May actually manages to get Vapor to give up her genetic sample just by being a cool, tough lady that Vapor, respects.
Made her jizz in a cup, yep.
Yeah, it
the
also
genetic
helps that,
sample. Yep.
There you go. Come on, give it. It also helps that Vapor has no idea that Peter is her nephew and that Peter is one of the Spider-Mans that beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
So that certainly helps. May sees that, Ock is tearing up the place now, and she's like, no, team up is over now. You have broken the rules. I'm leaving, and I'm not going to use the samples, even though I got one on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Completely fine, but you broke it, so I'm not going to use the other sample, so I guess Peter will just stay in his coma, only he doesn't, because Ock just sends the samples to the hospital anyway, and Peter gets out of his coma.
Oh, okay. I thought that might have been like a way for them, like a really roundabout way just to keep Peter in the coma so Ben could stay as Spider-Man.
I know, right? It's really fucking weird. And it's like, so Aunt May had no agency in this story. She made a big deal about having a moral high ground, and in the end, none of it mattered.
That's weird.
It's weird. They also very much shoe in a "with great power comes great responsibility" speech.
Oh, really?
From May herself, and I'm like, that doesn't belong there. And of course, the big final twist, we find out that, Ock looked into Infinite Solutions computers. Yes, they're a subsidiary of the Beyond Corporation. Beyond was harboring the UFOs. Of course they set up the attack on Peter. Duh, why wouldn't they? But also, that's not why Ock is mad. Ock is mad because Beyond bought up all the Spider-Man related trademarks, including Parker Industries, the thing that he himself made.
He built, yeah.
So now he's mad at Beyond and mad at their corporate Spider-Man, and I'm like, why is he mad at that? Shouldn't he have moved on by this point? If he cared so much, why doesn't he start Octavius Enterprises? It
could just be like an ego thing,
I guess.
Where it's like, this is something I created and everything, and they're just taking it and like burying it and using its like resource and stuff. So I wonder if also this means now that like maybe Doc and Peter will like team up, and I imagine with like Ben Reilly once he like figures all this shit out, and then that whole like Monica Rambeau stuff with like the Daughters of the Dragon.
It's weird too, because it's like, wait, so you mean to tell me that Doc Ock remembers founding Parker Industries enough to be upset about it, but he doesn't remember that Peter Parker was also Spider-Man?
He's got like selective memory.
I mean, because it's like, it was the stuff that was in the Living Brain Golden Octobot.
Yeah.
And then he also sold some of his memeries to Mephisto to end his own series.
I was going to say, is this what it's going to be like? Is it going to be like the whole Daredevil thing where like he had that part taken out?
It kind of feels that way, that his like memories were edited in such a way. I'm like, that's a little annoying.
Yeah.
Book looks good though. Ock is going around in his white suit that he wore back in the day, and he looks great.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one was kind of disappointing. It had a lot of great potential, but just couldn't make it work because it couldn't decide on what the tone was supposed to be.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's a little all over the place. You might like it more than me, but I was just kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
I wanted more. I expected more.
Yeah. Now I had one more book, and it's kind of a funny book.
Ooh, okay.
And that's One Star Squadron by
I really wanted to read that.
Mark Russell and Steve Lieber. Yeah.
This looks like it was made just for me. Hey, here's some D-list heroes getting into shenanigans.
It looks like that, and it looks like it's like a companion to like Fraction and Lieber's Jimmy Olsen book.
Very much so.
Yeah, so we're introduced to the Heroes for You, a new organization in Metropolis where we're introduced at the start of the book. It's like an advertisement for it, and it's like, yeah, superheroes are cool, but like they can't save the world every week. So like we're like utilizing superheroes for other things like telemarketing and like birthday appearances and like security at like events and all that
work.
Yeah, it's all the shit work, and of course it's all like the shit heroes. So like Black Condor and Flying Fox and Minuteman, and it's all being led by Red Tornado.
Nice.
Who, as we find out, he's getting like, he doesn't really like, he's just doing it just for the money, because as we learn through the book, the story, like it's like, yeah, I was a hero, I took down the Royal Flush Gang with Superman, everyone loved me, but that doesn't pay the bills.
No, it really doesn't.
So I need a fucking job, and this is all I could fucking get.
Wait, aren't you a robot? Do you eat?
He does. He eats a lot throughout this issue, actually. That's like one of his tics. But yeah, he's getting complained at by Minuteman, who wants like the top jobs. Like he wants to protect the royal visit that's coming, and but like it's like no one wants you. Like you're well, I'm putting you in the financial district, and you're going to be back up to Plastic Man to like keep an eye on like window jumpers.
Amazing.
And he's like he hates it, and he's like I was the employee of the month, and it's like no, you weren't. You made that medal and a trophy yourself and everything. No one wants like you around because your powers are shit. His powers are he gets powers for 1 minute every day.
So a worse version of Our Man.
Yeah, he's just so shit. And he has like shit scores on like the app, the Heroes for You app and everything. He's got like a 1.5 star. So Red Tornado tells him to like, just write it out, just do the low hanging fruit, and then something your luck will pick up and everything. It's here the book kind of gets a little serious because while it all does all that funny stuff, it's also sort of like a critique on like mental health and like and like kind of a and like how people with mental health and mental disabilities are treated, because we're introduced to a character called Jose Delgado, who was Gangbuster.
I was gonna say
Gangbuster in the Infinite Frontier universe, and we find out that he's kind of he's not catatonic. He can still speak and everything, but like he doesn't remember who he is or anything, and like sort of like all that sort of stuff, and like these doctors just kind of dump him at the office because they're sick of like dealing with him. So they dump him at the Heroes for You office, and it's Red Tornado decides to take it on himself to like find out who this guy is and kind of help him. So he leaves the office in charge of Power Girl, who's working at this office as well. And we learn that she's working in this office because she actually has kind of a good reason, and I like that it's used as a joke. So in the office, the heckler, who's like the best at the telemarketers there, he like questions Power Girl. She's like, "You're a Kryptonian, like you have actual superpowers.
Yeah.
Why are you here?" And she's like, "Well, I like fought like Lex Luthor and gods and demons and all that sort of stuff all this for years, and like nothing changed. Villains would always come back stronger.
Oh wow.
All that sort of stuff. And it'd be like if I somehow got onto like an Earth that was like magical based, my powers would be useless, and it's like that. But we're on Earth where it's not magical based, it's money based."
Oh wow, interesting. So she's taking like a moral hiatus from where it's like, what's even the point, man?
Yeah. So it's like, so I might as well just like fucking get into it and just start making fucking money and all that. And
that's a very interesting pitch for Power Girl.
But not only that, is that she's also hardcore into like motivational speakers. So she's hardcore into like Maxwell Lord's book about like motivational speaking, and it makes me think that's got to come back, because I'm like, it's Maxwell Lord, so it's like, is the book like, when you read the book, does it like fuck with your mind or something?
That's funny.
And she tries to get like a heckler to join in, and he's like, I wasn't listening to that just sounds like a cult.
That's really good.
But yeah, Red Tornado spends most of the issue trying to like find out who Gangbuster was, and he finds out about his history, about how he became Gangbuster after his boxing mentor was killed in a gangland shooting, and he was a hero who was known for like having a really strong head, like really tough and everything. And we learn that something happened in Jose's life where he was like captured while on the job, and like people like fucked him up really badly. But he doesn't really, like, that triggers him, and it triggers him to go and fly into like a violent rage, and
repressed memories.
They have to like calm him down and everything, and they try and find out where he lived, and they find this woman, but she doesn't know who he is. But when they leave the house, we find out that was actually his wife, and she doesn't want anything to kind of do with him or anything.
Oh, holy shit! So
yeah, again, there's like this really kind of serious sort of look at like mental health, and like
in a book about D-list superheroes.
But like Red Tornado has this great thing where it's like, like heroes are there to help people, but it's often forgot that heroes themselves often at times need help, and we're people
That sounds
too.
fucking awesome.
And it's a better Heroes in Crisis.
I was gonna say that sounds like if Heroes in Crisis was good. This sounds like totally up my alley.
Yeah, and it's got all that, and then at the end of the book sees Power Girl try and employ some of these motivational aspects of that Maxwell Lord book and try and take power from Red Tornado of the Heroes for You company and try and like oust him because he's doing his job basically.
So she's Dwight from The Office now. She's trying to overthrow.
Yeah, basically she wears a suit and everything, and
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's a fantastic book.
And it's all heroes no one was using now.
Nope.
That sounds great. That sounds excellent. That totally sounds like something I would like.
Yeah.
Man, Russell just does, he really nails that niche, doesn't he?
Yeah, he nails that niche where he can have like all this exciting comic book stuff, but then he'll like hit you with a message like that sort of stuff, like treat people who have mental health issues well, look after them, help them.
It's not just jokey haha comedy, look how lame these guys are. There's a heart to it.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to go read that probably tonight before I go to bed.
How many issues is that? I want to say
it's a mini.
Yeah, I want to say it's 6 issues.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a real solid way to end this week on, I think, with a really great recommendation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll just about do it for us, everyone. We'll start winding down the show. As always, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us on Sunday night. We really appreciate it. We know you could be anywhere in the world right now. This show actually went to midnight my end, so wow, we've been on for a bit.
Big, long show.
Big, long show, everyone. Big thanks to our sponsors over at Manscaped. I will be sure to link you down in the description below. You can help yourself out, get a great deal, help out the channel, maybe even, get some gift ideas, get some stockings and everything. Help us all out along the way there. Thank you, everyone who donated. We had some really nice donations tonight. As for next week, Spider-Man is coming out. So we're pretty sure that's what the show is going to be next week. I don't know when I'm going to be able to see it because my shitty small town theater has already sold out.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine if they've already sold out now, I might have to try and go see it Sunday afternoon. And if not, don't be shocked if the show gets pushed to Monday maybe.
Yeah.
But we're going to try and do it. We're going to try and do it as best we can. And if not, we'll just we'll do something. We'll do something fun one way or another. And then we're definitely doing the Christmas episode the week after that Matt had planned and that I'm really excited for us to do.
Yeah.
So get ready for that, everyone. And I guess we'll start winding it down there. As always, if you're a patron, you'll get to listen to the show back first before anyone else in audio and visual form and help us out along the way. We always truly, truly appreciate it. And for everyone else, the show goes live Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the channel. And then usually on all the digital audio platforms, your SoundClouds, your Stitchers, your iTunes, usually Saturday sometime, if I remember. And thank you, Reese, for just subscribing now as the show is coming to an end. It's always appreciated. Anything else to say, Matt, before we end it?
No. I'll probably myself on my own channel put up a review of Spider-Man at some point. I'm seeing it on a midnight showing.
Lucky.
Like one of the first midnight showings in the world, I think. I worked it out. I tried to work it out. Like, I'm pretty close there to being one of the first in the midnight showings.
I wish I had a midnight showing around here I could go to. I would happily do that.
Well, see, I booked tickets because, like, they didn't appear. I booked tickets for, like, the day it actually came out. And I'm like, okay, I'll just go during the day. I'll be, like, seeing it when everyone else is seeing it. And then, like, I checked a couple of days ago and they'd added in, like, couple of midnight showings. So I'm like, I'm going to move that ticket over to here.
Nice. That's good. Alrighty then, everyone. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
See ya.